Welcome, everybody, once again to the Shipyard Podcast. Woo! It's been one of those weeks, haven't it? Well, we set out this week to switch it up a little bit, do a little something, bling bling on um, parenting, because I just thought it'd be a good time to talk about it. Last week, I seen a bunch of questions about my young nephew's upbringing and his parenting and stuff like that. And I can honestly say that he comes from a great home, well raised, really. He's a good kid. He's a good person. We just got different views. And so I thought it'd be a good time to, because I think some of us feel, me included, that maybe his experiences sheltered him some to help create the environment and the thought process that he had. But the world be whirling. And so we had to switch it up and go to something different. We had to come back to politics once again, due to uh, an extraordinary story that happened this week. In case a lot of y'all don't know, there was a case where um, the Trump administration, senior Trump officials, not Trump himself, but from the vice president on down, literally, um, have been using a chat, using a application that's on everybody, can be, on your iPhone or Android, whatever device that you personally use. And they've been using this device to send messages to themselves, official messages to themselves. And so we decided, I decided, sorry, I decided that this story was just too big not to talk about. So that's where we are. We already got guests lined up already. I'm gonna start bringing them on one by one, and so we can talk about it. But as always, anybody is welcome. I have asked numerous people that support Donald Trump and his viewpoints to come on this podcast, and let's have a rational, factual talk. However, it is impossible to do that. Not say impossible. I have yet to find somebody for this subject to do that. Because last week we had a conversation with somebody who is more aligned with Donald Trump and his viewpoints than myself. But here we are. So before we start, before start adding on my guests, I just want to give you a breakdown of, again, like I talked about, they were using the app called Signal. Um, that app is not approved for use with classified information or anything like that. And so let me just give you, first I'm gonna go to the DOD memo that actually talks about using applications and unauthorized apps. And I'm not going to read the whole memo, obviously, but what I am going to read is numerous I'm sorry, numerous mobile apps across access or non-public DoD information, uh, authorized email apps, collaboration apps, command control apps. Other apps may be used in support of mission requirements, but do not directly access non-public DoD information, i.e., travel and or educational apps. Although mobile apps can provide ease of use and increased functionality for the users across the department, there are risks that must be considered. Mobile apps may contain malware or have vulnerabilities that can disclose CUI, personality identifiable information, non-public DoD information, not approved for public release. Once again, public release or other sensitive information. This is all possible without the user's consent or knowledge. So, again, with that being said, that gives us I think, the backdrop to talk about and go further on this. I am going to start letting some guests on because they're chomping at the bit to get on here. Um, before I get a chance to go further into the process and what's going on here. The first one that we have is Keith Bell. Welcome, Keith. Welcome, my brother, to the pod.
Hey, can you hear me today? I don't know if
Yep.
that's
Yes, you
bad.
sound much better. You sound much better today.
That's better. Okay, good, good.
Yeah, you do. And so, welcome. I do want to get your viewpoint here, but I want to set it up. I want to give the factual information. I want to give the people exactly what happened, exactly what was said, and then we can go further into the debate of was it right, was it wrong, and go from there. So the first video that I would like to share will be about um it will be on exactly what was said. Like I just said, it will be exactly what was said. Again, anybody, if you're watching this right now, I would please appreciate if you were to go to YouTube or go to YouTube, actually. Go to YouTube and like and subscribe to the page. It's much easier for me to see your comments and reply back to you. I can't reply back in Facebook. I can only reply back really good in the YouTube. So if you can go to the YouTube, like and subscribe, and let's get this ball started. Hold on. I think I just lost it. We're still new here. We're still got some little technical difficulties.
The only thing I wish you had was different sources besides CNN, because a lot of the right sees CNN as the left sees Fox.
And I understand that, but we this is literally this is to blame CNN for this is to blame reality. It's like to blame gravity when you drop when you drop something out of your hand and the glass, when you drop a glass and the glass break. That's blaming gravity is what this is, because this is actual exactly what was said. This is an opinion. This is exactly what was in the text message. Oh, I just deleted it again. What is going on with me? All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
Special Envoy Steve Witkoff.
Team. Establishing a principals group for coordination on Houthis, particularly for over the next 72 hours. My deputy Alex Wong is pulling together a Tiger team at deputy/agency chief of staff level, following up from the meeting in the sit room this morning for action items, and we'll be sending that out later this evening. Please provide the best staff POC from your team for us to coordinate with over the next couple days and over the weekend. Thanks.
Mike Needham for State. Andy Baker for VP.
Joe Kent for DNI.
Dan Katz for Treasury.
Dan Caldwell for DOD.
Brian McCormick for NSC.
Team. You should have a statement of conclusions with taskings per the President's guidance this morning in your high side inboxes. State and DOD. We developed suggested notification lists for regional allies and partners. Joint Staff is sending this AM a more specific sequence of events in the coming days, and we will work with DOD to ensure COS, OVP, and POTUS are briefed.
Team, I am out for the day doing an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake. 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez. 40% of European trade does. There is a real risk that the public doesn't understand this, or why it's necessary. The strongest reason to do this is, as POTUS said, to send a message. But I am not sure the President is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There's a further risk that we see a moderate to severe spike in oil prices. I am willing to support the consensus of the team and keep these concerns to myself. But there is a strong argument for delaying this a month, doing the messaging work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, etc.
There is nothing time-sensitive driving the timeline. We'll have the exact same options in a month. The Israelis will likely take strikes and therefore ask us for more support to replenish whatever they use against the Houthis. But that's a minor factor. I will send you the unclassed data we pulled on BAM shipping.
From CIA perspective, we are mobilizing assets to support now, but a delay would not negatively impact us, and additional time would be used to identify better starting points for coverage on Houthi leadership.
VP, I understand your concerns and fully support you raising with POTUS. Important considerations, most of which are tough to know how they play out. Economy, Ukraine peace, Gaza, etc. I think messaging is going to be tough no matter what. Nobody knows who the Houthis are, which is why we would need to stay focused on 1. Biden failed, and 2. Iran funded.
All right, I just want to stop right there for a second because one, adversaries would kill to get this information in and of itself of knowing inner workings and inner thoughts between high-level officials in the U.S. government that can influence the president. That in and of itself, you know. The other thing I want to hit on is the Biden fail. It just tells you they know how to stay on messaging. And not to say the Democrats don't to a certain extent, but the Republicans are on a different level. So they're already trying to figure out, how do we message this? How do we make sure that this is messaged correctly? And if you were to look at their messages now, they're still on the Biden failed thing, you know.
Right.
They're still on that. So again, you know, somebody can say, okay, this is from CNN, but CNN has nothing to do with it.
Right.
This is straight exactly what they wrote. So again, it's like blaming gravity when you drop the glass.
Right.
Let's go ahead.
What I've come to know is they will probably deny that this is even what was on the text simply because it was on CNN. Like, is this AI generated or is this real or what? That's
honestly, that's not what they're doing. Because, you know, I watch so you don't have to.
Okay.
And it's been hard to keep my cup full. I'm not going to lie to y'all. It's been very hard to watch what they're saying. And we're going to go into that because I have many more videos to go on today. They're actually
the messaging today is to blame the journalist. Like, he should have
journalist. Yes,
that's
before
what you got to do.
And of course it's not classified. None of this is classified. But we know from the jump right here, just knowing to know the inner workings of what the U.S. government is thinking. For sure.
You got the director of national security, secretary of defense. Come on, bro. Come on now.
Yeah. All right, so let's finish on some more.
Okay.
Waiting a few weeks or a month does not fundamentally change the calculus. 2 immediate risks on waiting. 1, this leaks and we look indecisive. 2, Israel takes an action first, or Gaza ceasefire falls apart, and we don't get to start this on our own terms. We can manage both. We are prepared to execute, and if I had final go or no-go vote, I believe we should. This, not about the Houthis. I see it as 2 things. 1, restoring freedom of navigation, a core national interest, and 2, re-establish deterrence, which Biden cratered. But we can easily pause. And if we do, I will do all we can to enforce 100% OPSEC. I welcome other thoughts.
The trade figures we have are 15% of global and 30% of container. It's difficult to break that down to U.S. specific because much of the container, either going through the Red Sea still or around the Cape of Good Hope, are components going to Europe that turns into manufactured goods for transatlantic trade to the United States. Whether we pull the plug or not today, European navies do not have the capability to defend against the types of sophisticated anti-ship, cruise missiles, and drones the Houthis are now using. So whether it's now or several weeks from now, it will have to be the United States that reopens these shipping lanes. Per the President's request, we are working with DoD and state to determine how to compile the cost associated and levy them on the Europeans. As we stated in the first PC, we have a fundamental decision of allowing the sea lanes to remain closed or to reopen them now or later. We are the only ones with the capability, unfortunately. From a messaging standpoint, we absolutely add this to of horribles on why the Europeans must invest in their defense.
At Pete Hegseth, if you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. Let's just make sure our messaging is tight here. And if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it.
VP.
I want to stop again. It's astonishing to me how much they loathe Europe at this point.
Our allies, right?
Our allies.
Yeah.
Our allies.
That is astonishing from the Vice President of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to protect the Saudi oil, but we don't care about what Europe thinks. That's insanity to me, but it's on brand to me about this.
But you know why? It's simple, because they want to keep gas prices down. That's why Saudi Arabia means so much to them.
Yeah. So you can say oil is good.
Yeah.
I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. But Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet, on our side of the ledger, who can do this. Nobody else even close. Question is timing. I feel like now's as good a time as any, given POTUS' directive to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but POTUS still retains 24 hours of decision space.
As I heard it, the president was clear. Green light, but we soon make clear to Egypt and Europe what we expect in return. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement. E.g., if Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? If the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return.
Agree. Team update. Time now. 1144 ET. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are a go for mission launch. 1215 ET. F-18's launch.
Again, I got to stop this because this is an important part. What about this is not classified?
I know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What's not classified? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's not classified?
So they tried to play on words by saying, you know, the report first said war plans, and now they're saying military action or something to that effect. So they're playing on words. You know, they're saying, well, he said war plans at first. Now he realized it wasn't war plans. You know, again, what about this is not classified?
It's top secret, man. I don't know if it's top. It's secret at least. It ain't top secret, but it's at least secret. This is stuff that even at our job we can't just put out anywhere.
At least
ever.
You can never put this stuff out. And I don't never.
So
first strike package 1345 trigger based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s 1410. More F-18s launch. Second strike package 1415. Strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier trigger-based targets. 1536. F-18 second strike starts. Also, first sea-based Tomahawks launched. More to follow per timeline. We are currently clean on OPSEC. Godspeed to our warriors.
I will say a prayer for victory.
Oh my
VP,
God.
building collapsed. Had multiple positive ID. Pete, Gorilla, the IC, amazing job.
So what? Stop it right there. Let me stop it right there. Because first off, have you seen all of these texts? This is the first time really seeing it in this.
This is my first time. Yeah, this is my first time.
And maybe you missed.
I'm astonished. I'm astonished at the level of what's in it, because I thought it was just plans and talking about it. I didn't know we had real time. It's happening, and a whole timeline of what's going to go down. Oh my. The whole world would love this if I'm our adversary. Oh my God.
Yeah. Not to mention, clearly they had a real world asset on the ground, because they said that the building collapsed and the person was in the building.
Positive IDs. You can't get where you get a positive ID from?
Unless your asset is right there.
Yeah. Not a civilian. Wow. You're talking about assets on a group chat with a journalist included.
But none of this is classified. None of this is war plans. None of this is anything wrong.
In every other administration, people would lose their jobs. This is not acceptable. I mean, generals would be calling for somebody to be no.
So let's talk about generals for a minute. And I can rewind it back to show you who was all on the group chat. There wasn't a so who should have been in a principals meeting, who should also be included, and not only just people that was on that on that chat, but also should have been included was the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who is acting right now because Trump fired the Black Joint Chiefs of Staff
Yeah.
because of DUI, as well as the CENTCOM commander, the one that would be actually in charge of the aircraft carrier and the assets that was actually taking care of the mission.
Yeah.
They would have been included in a discussion like this had they used the right way to use it. But because they know they was using signal, they didn't add the military into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So think about that for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now also think about the fact that one of the principals that was in this, one of the people that was actually in this group chat was in Russia. I don't know if you heard that or not yet.
I heard it. I didn't know who it was. Who was? Somebody said he was.
It was Trump's liaison for the Middle East, or not for the Middle East. He's Trump's liaison is trying to help broker the deal with Ukraine and all of that.
Ukraine, yeah. So he had stepped out, but he's in the back. Yeah, I did hear about that. He had stepped back. He's on the phone.
Russia.
Yeah, in Russia.
Now I'm gonna take it. Now I'm gonna take it even a step further, and let's go to because we can talk about and say, what if it was Biden? What if it was Hillary? Obviously, we go to the emails and all of that stuff, which we will. But think about it like this: what if it was a 2-star? Let's go with the former chief of staff, 4-star Air Force general, black man, who was texting this or accidentally added a Trump hating journalist.
Right.
He was talking to what would he be at right now?
Oh yeah. He'd be at it would be his name and face would be on every television station right now because they would scapegoat him for it. They don't have the black man who they can blame right now, so they can only blame the journalist.
Exactly.
And it could be a black woman, a person of color, a woman, a person of color, anybody. They didn't have that to what they could use. So you can't ever admit fault. You can't ever admit that you did anything wrong, not in a Trump administration.
No.
Can't ever feign any type of weakness. So that's what happens right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you set yourself up with a type of government and press release and just the way you can do things, just to say whatever I say and whatever narrative I put out, that's the one we're going to run with, and we just keep pushing that. While on the same token, we're doing something on the other side of that token, we're doing something totally different. But you got to push that narrative like it's somebody's fault, but it's not our fault. Who can hold them accountable? You put the judges, most of the judges that are going to hold them accountable in office. So who can hold them accountable? Who can do it?
Who's supposed to hold them accountable is the Congress.
Right.
Congress is supposed to hold them accountable. Congress is supposed to have an investigation and do those things, and DOJ, and an independent.
Independent. Yeah.
But we don't have either one of those right now. We don't.
So that's why I'm wondering who can hold them accountable.
The American people at this point. And it will happen with voting. And won't happen today. It won't happen until November next year, or the special elections for the people that have left Congress to join the administration.
Yeah.
So I want to move the conversation too. We're going to continue on the same subject, but just how much in the past Trump likes to say he knows everything, right? He knows about this, he knows about that. There is no telling him anything that he doesn't know because, he's the president, and even before that, I know this, I know that. So I just wanted to share exactly what this dude used to say back in the day when he used to talk about knowing every single thing about everything. And hold on. Where is it? There it is.
I do want to know the legalities of using Signal at all for any type of that communication. I was
Yeah,
curious about that, but we'll talk about that some other
we'll
time.
talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
It's used by a lot of the
to communicate from senior officials.
Well, I don't know anything about Signal. I wasn't involved in this, but I just heard about it. And I hear it's used by a lot of groups. It's used by the media a lot. It's used by a lot of the military, and I think successfully. But sometimes somebody can get onto those things. That's one of the prices you pay when you're not sitting in the situation room with no phones on, which is always the best, frankly. But the best is to be there. In fact, oftentimes I've been in fact, just last week I was in the situation room on something very important, and we had a couple of people hooked up by line, and I said, cancel the line. Sorry, fellas, what you do is we'll tell you all about the meeting, because I know people do get on those lines, whether it's Signal or anything else. Yeah.
So are you going to change any procedures as a result of this?
Well, I mean, look, we look at everything, and they've made a big deal out of this because we've had 2 perfect months. We are bringing in business. We have another one announced tomorrow, a big one, very big. Like in the history of our country, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And I think probably a lot of people are saying they started by saying it was the greatest first month.
I can't do anymore. Okay, that was enough. That was enough. So of course
he's going to go into I'm the greatest. It's the greatest.
Yeah. So of
he
course
just had perfect months. You had 2 perfect months. How did you do that?
Yeah.
Or that could be perfect in his world because the stock market is tanking, down 20%. I guess that's perfect for him. It's not all the way down, so I guess that's perfect.
Yeah, but again, it tells you his lie. You know when he's lying when he say he doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know. Yeah.
Like I said,
that's his tail.
That's his tail. When he says he doesn't know, then he's lying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
because he knows everything.
Exactly. So. Exactly. And let's just play a quick montage. We can't listen to it all because it'll make our head hurt. But let's go.
And nobody knows this stuff better than me.
Nobody knows more about taxes than I do and income than I do.
Nobody knows more about construction than I do.
Nobody knows more about campaign finance than I do.
Nobody knows consultants better than me.
I know more about drones than anybody. Nobody knows much more about technology, this type of technology, certainly, than I do.
Nobody knows more about technology than me.
I know more about technology than anybody.
Nobody in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump. I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me.
I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me.
Nobody understands the president, but I think I understand him as well as anybody. I mean, I know these people much better than you do.
I understand things. I comprehend very well, okay? Better than, I think, almost anybody.
And by the way, who knew the other side of the picture better than me? I knew it.
Nobody knows more about environmental impact statements than me. And I think I know more about the environment than most people.
I know a lot about wind. I know I know windmills very much. I've studied it better than anybody.
I understand the power of Facebook, maybe better than almost anybody. I know more about renewables than any human being on Earth. Nobody knows more about polls than me.
I know more about courts than any human being on Earth.
I understand healthcare now, especially very well. A lot of people don't understand it. I know the angles. I know every angle.
I know more about steelworkers than anybody that's ever run for office.
I know more about golf than Obama knows.
And in the case of Turkey and the Kurds, I could go into a whole story.
And we can keep going and going and going and going.
He knows it all, man.
He knows it all. And again, his tell is he doesn't know anything. We have another guest that would like to come on. Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the shipwreck. Again, before you start talking, again, anybody, if you're watching, please like, subscribe. If you can't go to YouTube, that's the easiest and best way, in my opinion, to watch the pod. And Black, how do you feel about what you've seen so far? Hello, can't hear you. Black.
He might have himself muted.
Yeah, you might have yourself muted. All right, while we work on that, I'll go to our next section that I wanted to talk about. Again, this is a lot on this topic. I do have another topic that I did want to talk about. Um but I just wanted to talk about the hypocrisy of it all and go back to 2016 when Hillary's private server came out, and of course it was terrible. She shouldn't have never done it.
Oh,
Um,
right.
and Comey made a determination that she shouldn't have been prosecuted for it, and that was his determination. But of course, everybody on the right said that she should have been, and I can understand the carelessness of and the negligence, because you talked about that earlier there, Keith, about the negligence, and that's where it is with this one. Is I don't think they knowingly, obviously they didn't knowingly add him to the chat, but it's still negligence of saying the information that they had on using Signal to begin with.
Right.
So
and I'm sure they use it because it's easy and simple to use. You know, laziness is always the precursor for any negligence. Is laziness.
Exactly. And that's exactly what the memo talked about was the laziness of that. We're gonna try it again, Black. Can you hear us now? Can you hello, Black? You may have to go into your phone and give your phone permission to use the app. I know I've had a guest on before that had to do that as well. So in the meantime, I'm gonna play another video, like I said, going back to what the what the Republicans thought of the Hillary Clinton debacle when she had her own.
Put lives at risk, and you can get people killed when you do that. Both the president, Hillary Clinton, if there was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now. This is a real deal, full-blown national security scandal.
She was less than truthful about it repeatedly. And it goes to the issue of both competence and credibility. It is irresponsible for an elected official in her capacity to be discussing highly sensitive things on a format that she had to have known was not fully secured.
I think it's why many of us felt that there should have been a prosecution started with respect to Hillary Clinton regarding classified emails.
When you have the Clinton emails, when you have the fact that the sitting national security advisor right now, Jake Sullivan, was sending and laundering classified documents into an unclassified server, on top of the fact that the sitting president of the United States admitted he had documents in his garage that you're going in and out of.
So again, that one right there, everybody that criticized Hillary Clinton was actually on the text train.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Yeah. And now it's nothing. Now it's
in their defense. I guess they can say in their defense that it was secure than her email server.
That's not true. Yeah, that's not factual either. You know, they can try to say that, but it's not factual. Black, I see you. Now hopefully we can hear you. No, we cannot hear you. All right. He's working on it. All right, say give him a minute. But that's not true. I mean, because like I said, you know, looking at that DOD memo, and there was another one out there, I believe that
the DOD memo. The DOD memo is clear. You're right about that.
Yeah, it's clear. You should not be using those apps.
Yeah.
So again, back to hypocrisy of it. So that was them showing how they felt about Hillary. Mm-hmm. And now here we're going to talk about how they what they're saying now, including the defense secretary who started off the conversation saying that she should, you know, be prosecuted.
There's no units, no locations, no routes, No flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information.
Assertions like that from multiple high-ranking officials that the messages contain nothing classified are why Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg says he chose to release them.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
That's it. That's what it's gonna be. Nothing to see.
And they're playing on words to me.
Yeah.
Black, can you hear me? But I still can't hear you. 1 second. All right. Yeah. So it's astonishing to me. To me, I look at things as black and white. I'm not black. I'm in gray areas in life, but I look at balls and strikes probably the best way to look at it. And to me, to see these same people act as if there was nothing wrong, and then they're going even further now, like you said, like you talked about how they're trying to blame the reporter, and we're going to get into that here shortly. Is absolutely astonishing to me.
It shouldn't be astonishing, though. It shouldn't be astonishing because I don't know if you've witnessed anybody of those reporters go on the street and they say a person said this here, and they go, "Oh, that was bad, bad, bad," until you say it was Trump that said it, and they say, "Oh, he meant this here." That's on brand for them. So if it all depends on who did it for them.
Yeah.
That's what matters to them. Who did it? If we did it on the left, it's bad. If they did it on the right, it's good.
Yeah.
That's all you have to know about that whole sect.
Yep. Holly, are you up?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you loud and clear.
Okay. Good.
Welcome to the couch.
Thank you. Excited to be on the couch.
How has this last week been for you?
You know what? And I've been listening the whole time, actually. I think for me, what's done is done. The accountability piece of it is really what's bothering me more than anything, because that speaks to their character. I can make this is major, no doubt about it. What they've done, with the leaking and adding a reporter to the signal chat and the whole 9 yards. But for you to not be able to say, yeah, I screwed up, we screwed up, let's figure out how this never happens again. And these are our top leaders. So it's the accountability piece of it that's really got me like trying to figure out how these grown men and women are not recognizing your leaders. And anybody knows, and I think most of us or some of us have been in the military, when your leader screws up like that and they don't come back and say, yeah, I messed up. Your credibility, well, first of all, they never had any credibility with me. But now your credibility is completely shot. So it's more so for me, the lack of accountability. They are not taking accountability for anything.
Anything.
You know as well as I know, if you was in the military and you lost your ID card, they pretty much ran you through the ringer. OPSEC and this, that, and the other, da, 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 da. And this here is being brushed under the rug. Oh, it wasn't classified, and it wasn't, whatever whatever narrative they're trying to create. That coupled with the fact that these are people that are now in charge of our national security, our allies. They've run Europe through the mud. I can only imagine how they feel about us right now. So it's difficult for me to wrap my head around the lack of accountability piece of it. Not even so much as the leaking and crap happens.
Mm-hmm.
You screwed up. Yes, I screwed up. I'm gonna go ahead and own it. And I think they would have came out better owning it. But I think Pete said that'll never happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's another piece to think about it too: is how many more conversations are they having that should be recorded now on presidential records and stuff like that aren't? You got all of the Doge stuff probably on Signal. Right. All of the military stuff. You have so many conversations that are supposed to be recorded that aren't.
That's why would they though? That's I think what we're doing is we're wrapping our heads around things that were before, a structure that we had in place to where things are done a certain way. This comes from leadership at the top. This is how he does it. So your troops are going to fall in line. If the leader says this is the way we do it, we no longer have to show any type of remorse or anything about anything that we do. We can always just say, it's somebody else's fault. Our
Exactly.
leader will back that up, and we just go on from there. There will never be any accountability in this administration. So we can get that just out of our minds.
And that's scary, Keith. That is really scary. When you really think about it, that's a scary position for us to be in. It's super scary.
We just have a few people trying to keep it together. A few people who are still in the administration that are like a few judges and a few things that are trying to keep it together. But it is very scary, Holly. I agree with you. It is. It's very scary.
It's a scary. And the thing with the flight, real quick, what they were talking about the aircraft and supposed to be overhead at this time, and you remember the flight schedule?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember having this flight? Wasn't something written on there classified or for your eyes only, or something written on that flight schedule that was kept tight?
Yeah.
So how come they saying it's not?
Yeah.
And especially out to sea. I don't know where these planes was coming from, but especially when you was out to sea, that flight schedule was classified for sure.
Absolutely. So we have 3 new guests that's ready to get on that hasn't been on before. We have TC, who looks like he got the USS Nimitz on there on his hat. Look like he's once again a Navy veteran of mine. Showing his iPhone. Probably doesn't have a signal installed. I'm pretty sure of that.
But I got a text though. I got that text though.
You got that text. You got that text. We're gonna add also. Then we have Blackman that's on there. Black, can we give it a quick test to see if we can hear you now?
All right, you hear me?
Loud and clear. All right,
Yeah.
and we got one more. My Philly sister. Oh, did it not take? Oh, maybe I need maybe it's too many. Hold on. Let me again, we are a work in progress. I appreciate everybody in the community for sticking with me here and let me do my thing. Let us do our thing because like I said, we're here for each other. And so there she is, my Philly sister. Let me get rid of one thing here. There we go. There we go. All right. So I think we got everybody on. First, TC, you're up first. How do you feel about what you've seen so far and what's going on? Welcome to the couch.
Hey man, thanks for having me. I've been listening to you guys for a few minutes now, and you guys said it basically how I feel about the accountability and what this administration is all about. It is what it is, man. You just got to get out there and do the groundwork to fight against what's going on. They're gonna make these mistakes. They're gonna make these all this stuff that's happening is going to happen, and they're going to make excuses for it, and they're going to get away with it. I mean, ain't nothing we can do about it but vote and get out and do what we need to do on the ground. So it is what it is. There's no reason for us to get upset and get our blood pressure up. Just sit back and watch them fumble the ball.
Yeah.
Make sure we hold them accountable for fumbling the ball, and get out there and vote, man. The best thing about this whole thing I see right now is, I don't know about your side. Actually, I do know about your side. I see the younger generation talking about this. I hear this in their conversations. You know what I'm saying? My youngest son, who is doing his last year of college right now, him and his friends are having a conversation about what's going on. And that's important. And I think that's gives me hope of our future generations and what's to come. So, hey, man, we just got to be patient, man, and wait our turn because it's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to ask a quick question. Make sure could everybody hear TC when he was talking?
Yeah, I could.
You could? Black, you could?
I heard him.
All right. Philly sister, let's see if we can figure it out for you. Black, go ahead and first of all, Phyllis, give me a test to make sure that I can hear you. No, we can't hear you. Yeah, it's something with your audio. You may have to look at that. All right, so go ahead, Black. Tell me what you're thinking about right now. What's going on?
Okay.
Welcome to the couch. First time on the couch. Welcome to the couch.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, I lost one of my screens. I'm waiting for it to come back up. So right now I can't see you, but as long as you can see me and can hear me, continue. Dealing with this topic today, we all know that they're not going to take accountability for nothing, and they're going to try and take the conversation in a direction that makes them look good. They're not going to admit that they made a mistake. We all know doing this job, most of us in here, I believe, has at least a secret clearance. Some of us have a top secret clearance.
At times.
And working in CATSI on the ship, we know what top secret information look like, or what classified information look like. We had secret clearance and top secret clearance. There was certain stuff we didn't even know. Launching the airplane, we couldn't even decide, or we didn't even know where they were dropping the bombs or what their missions were. And we was clearing them for takeoff and clearing them for clearing them to land and clearing them on those missions. So to have this kind of information being shared on a app that anybody can access, because regardless if it's a secure app, it is public and it can be accessed. So having this kind of information, communication on this kind of app, we know that doesn't happen in the government, and it should have been on a secured line, this kind of stuff. So for them to come out and say, oh, it was not secret, blah, 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 we know dummies. We not no dummies. We know what secret information look like. And anytime you have what type of bombs used and what time these airplanes are launching and what time they're going to strike and where they're going to strike, that is top secret classified information. Only a very few people know that information. Very, very few should know the information. So for them to come out and try and pretend like this is not classified and all of that, it's just this administration being this administration. They're not going to admit any wrong. And as you said, Shim, I think we've been talking politics for many, 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 many years. We know the Republicans know how to stay on course. They know how to keep the message. And this is their message. And it's just Republicans being Republicans. So
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, about said you led the perfect segue to my next video that I wanted to say. Again, show everyone. Again, I watch this stuff so you don't have to. My head, honest to God, has been hurting for the last 2 days watching this bullshit.
Don't do it, brother.
I'm big up on myself, but that wasn't okay. I'm big up on myself, but that wasn't the one I was looking for. Again, we are work in progress here, people. We're figuring this out together. We're a community of love and one another, and we're going to keep this thing going.
Okay.
But what I had to endure myself to see these people tie themselves into a complete and utter pretzel. Let's go with example.
No one died except for terrorists. There was no collateral damage. The mission was a success. And Democrats think they have a scandal. Accidentally adding someone to a group text, which we've all done, is the new Watergate. The National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, his staff accidentally added an American reporter to a group text of Trump officials who were discussing an attack on Iranian proxies. And the reporter accidentally added to the group text wasn't a good guy. Wasn't like our very own stupid son of a bitch, Peter Doocy.
And happen to know the guy's a total sleazebag. The Atlantic is a failed magazine. Does very, very poorly. Nobody gives a damn about it. This gives it a little bit of a shot. And I will tell you this, that they've made up more stories, and they're just a failing magazine. The public understands that.
Jeffrey Goldberg got the scoop of his life by accident because somebody may have fat-fingered him into a private chat. He says on the group text, Hegseth shared war plans for the Houthi rebels. Pete says, no, I didn't. Classified material never entered the chat. So it's a he said, she said. Goldberg's the she. Yeah, he read some things he probably shouldn't have. It was an accident. Accidents happen when you're taking action. If you sleep all day like Biden and take no action, well, That's a dereliction of duty. Mike Waltz says he has no idea how this dishonest reporter even got access to the chat.
This one in particular, I've never met, don't know, never communicated with, and we are looking into and reviewing how the heck he got into this room. But I'll tell you what, the world owes President Trump a favor. President Trump took decisive action with his national security team, took out the head missileer, knocked out missiles, knocked out headquarters, knocked out.
I'm done. I can't. I mean, I can only. My cup has runneth out.
You can see they got it from the top. You can hear they got this messaging from the top.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But you see how they had to kiss his ass. You see how you have to sorry, you have to kiss the dear leader's ass. But not only that, just the message of trying to say it's the reporter's fault. And this next one, I tried to find it on my own, but I wasn't able to. But so I had to piggyback off of Don Lemon for this one, and this one is about to blow your mind. This one is gaslighting times a million. I've never ever seen anything like this one right here. Oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
Several years, but it still leaves open
that they are
lawyers back. Improper disclosures are always made in the legal world. Private of the last several.
Sorry. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about how the right-wing media is covering this, if they're covering it at all. This is one of the most ridiculous things that we have seen today. This is over on the Fox News, the Will Cain on the Fox News. I'm not even gonna set it up. I'm gonna let you. Here it is.
Overhyped and oversold stories of the last several years, but it still leaves open the question: what is the role of Jeffrey Goldberg? He literally is the center of the story. He got invited, apparently, perhaps, maybe, he got included in a private group deliberation.
I got to stop it right there before we get any further, because he got invited, maybe, probably, perhaps, basically trying to send out there the signal, because the National Security Advisor said the same thing, saying basically, maybe this guy hacked into our conversation.
Yeah, he hacked in. That's the brand that they want to do. He hacked in, or he made his name somebody else's name. So when you put
Whether he hacked in or not, what was said was said.
right,
but that makes it even worse to me, because then it tells exactly how unsecure Signal is to begin with. So
that's what I was gonna say. That's worse.
Yeah, that's even worse. Which goes back to the simple fact of, how the hell are you telling when the F-18s are taking off? Where they going to hit? You know, and we know he went in the building, and the building is collapsed. We know he went in the building, and the building collapsed. That is an asset on the ground. Period. Point blank, plain and simple. And to say that this journalist was able to get on to your Signal chat with the vice president on down, and you think that makes you look good?
they have to say that. They have to say that, because even if Signal was insecure, let's say Signal, we all know, just say he just did it on a regular text string, just a regular text between us, all of us here on this video here, we all text each other. At the very minimum, if we text everybody and I say, I want to talk to everybody except for Holly, I'm going to go through my text string and make sure that Holly's not on it, right? So I'm going to at least make sure the people that are on my text string are the people that I actually want to text. That's just laziness from the beginning, just laziness.
Yeah.
Because people have these type of conversations all the time where they in one group text and they say, oh, I want to talk about this person. So let me just go, I'm going to go on the separate one to talk to Black.
Yeah.
If I do something stupid and accidentally put Black and TC in here, and I say, oh, TC sucks, and then TC in there, that's what we have right there, just ignorance and laziness. Whether it's secure or not, they were just dumb. And they, in order to say I'm not dumb, I'm just going to say this guy snuck into my
dumber.
chat.
Yeah, he snuck in.
TC snuck into my chat.
Here's my thing. I'm sorry.
I would go a step further than dumb. That's incompetence.
Incompetence.
Yes, absolutely.
But you have to have something in that whole order of things, how it's done. It has to be from the top, because if nobody's gonna do anything about your incompetence, you just keep doing it over and over and over again.
Go ahead, Holly. Then Anthony, you're coming in next. Oh, go ahead. Go Black Holly. Holly. Go ahead.
For me, what's scarier is that when you hear Trump talk, he says he don't know, or he didn't know, or he wasn't aware. And we talking strikes are going on around the world, and you mean to tell me you not included and you don't know what's going on?
You don't know.
That is a whole nother can of worms that people right now is talking about the signal and the communication on the app. But the fact that the president of the United States, there are strikes going on, there are communications going on between a group of people, and you're not aware of what's going on. So who the hell is running the government? Who the hell is authorizing these strikes then if you don't know?
You saw it on the text string. You saw it. J.D. Vance. He says, I may tell POTUS, I may not.
That is scary as shit.
And one thing that was in there that you guys probably didn't realize was Stephen Miller, little Hitler is what I like to call him, even though he's actually Jewish. He wasn't in on the chat. After Vance put in how he felt about the strike, they added in Little Hitler, because Little Hitler, he's the militant one. He's the one that wanted to do everything and bomb them and this, that, and the other. They had to add him next. So before we go on, Holly, I want you to go, and then I'm gonna get Anthony and Vanessa on. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was just going to say the platform they use.
Holly, we lost you.
Actually, something.
Start over, Holly. We lost. We lost you after I was going to say. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, we got you. I think we lost you. Oh, all right, Anthony, go ahead. Welcome to the couch. Welcome to the couch.
Hey, welcome, peeps. This is a travesty. But we should have known what was going to happen when this man became president. He put a whole bunch of people in his cabinet that doesn't know anything about nothing. We got a guy that's in charge of the Department of Defense, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if he ever served.
He did. He did serve. He did serve, but he
didn't serve on the highest level of service, did he?
Absolutely not. He finished as a captain, which, again, thank you for your service.
In that case, I could have served. I could have run the Pentagon.
That's my point. He has never in his life
been
in charge more than 100 people. He has never
in my job in the military. I was enlisted, but I was telling captains what to do. Okay, I could do exactly what he's doing and not screw it the hell up. It's an exact travesty. I have a secret clearance. No, excuse me, top secret clearance. That means I need to shut up. That's all it means. You need to shut up. Don't you take what you know out of this place. What you have learned, what you may have gotten, and do not leave this realm. And what they have shown is a lack of ability for them to just do the basics.
Do the job.
The basics of the job is we do not let this information get out to the public. There are some things, and we all know this as military people, there are some things that the public do not need to know, at least until they need to know. Period. And for them to cover this up like they are now trying to cover it up, it's a travesty, man. It's a travesty. It's almost to the point where I don't have any more words. I'm done. Wow.
The great thing about it is that we did have a reporter that was in there. Just imagine if it was just a civilian.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yep. So I want to finish this. Let me finish this, and then we're going to continue. Then we continue discussion.
Now, if you or I get invited to a party, brought into a party that we really just weren't supposed to be at, we didn't get an invitation, we politely excuse ourselves. Maybe that makes light of the situation. Improper disclosures are all.
Let's cut this back up. I had to stop it for just so everybody understand. He is talking about the reporter that basically you've been invited into a chat that you shouldn't have been in. You've been invited to a party you shouldn't have been in, and you politely say, "I don't belong here." This is what they're showing on Fox News. This is, again, let me say that again. This is what they're showing on Fox, in quotation marks, news.
It's a travesty.
Just for a second, and then we're going to go back on.
Here with Jeffrey Goldberg. We didn't get an invitation. He got invited, apparently, perhaps, maybe. He got included in a private group deliberation. Now, if you or I get invited to a party, brought into a party that we really just weren't supposed to be at, we didn't get an invitation, we politely excuse ourselves.
No, we don't. We crash
the situation. Improper disclosures are always made in the legal world. Private filings, information you shouldn't receive is sometimes sent over email to the wrong person. Lawyers bow out, announce their presence, and say it's time to move on. We saw none of that here with Jeffrey Goldberg. Instead, he sat around under the implausible rationale that he wanted to find out if it was real. He never bowed out. He never announced himself. Instead, the first the world heard of it is when he published what he claimed to be classified documents and overhyped and oversold as war plans. Is there not some ethical obligation on Jeffrey Goldberg to announce himself and to leave? He literally is the story. But for his presence, it's not a story. It's not as though he uncovered Watergate. He overheard something through a wall that happened to matter to national security. His presence is the story. What obligation does Jeffrey Goldberg have to make himself not the story and to leave what he knows then is one of a private and important deliberation among President Trump's top cabinet?
That's a travesty.
Look here. I'm gonna have to borrow Uncle Sharp. This is who, you know what? Couch, go Couch, go.
You have to have
moderate right now. Just go.
You
Just
have to have that.
You know what's so bad about this is that they actually have a news organization that is primed and ready to protect this administration and what they're doing at all costs.
Yes.
And that cost is to us, the American people. They don't care if what they're saying is, they know what they're saying is not right.
Right.
But we have got to protect this administration at all costs. And if the American people is hurt by that, then so be it. It goes to show you that this administration and their whole the whole organization of them, they don't care really about the American people. They don't care. They care about themselves and what they are doing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we say in the conversations that we're having right now. They do not care about that. They don't care about the mistakes that they make. They don't care about that. They have shown that they already, with that, they have shown that they already have gone after the Justice Department. They let go a lot of key people that monitor the government, but which would have monitored them because they want to be their own form of deep state. Period.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Period. And I'm listening to what you just played, Bobby. And the one thing that this guy says in there is like, oh well, this as a civilian, he's supposed to pull himself off the thread.
Mm-hmm.
He's a civilian.
Mm-hmm.
He's not trained in no way militarily about what's going on. And not only is he a civilian, he's a reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what reporters do? If they're
Report.
doing their jobs, right? Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Report.
you, everyone. Love you
Report.
all. Thank you.
All right, look. So we gotta open the couch up to everybody, and I know it's so many people that want to talk right now, but I want to give it to the people who hasn't got a chance to talk. So I'm gonna give it to Vanessa, and I want to give it to Philly Sister. First off, Philly Sister, give me a mic check. Let me make sure that you up and you good.
Can you hear me now?
All right.
Yeah, there we go. Where the applause at? Woo! Welcome. But before we get to you, Philly Sister, we can go to Vanessa, and then this is the couch. We all gonna talk, make room, move the pillars out the way. Let's go, Vanessa.
So I joined late. I'm sorry. I was at my
All
kids'
good, all good.
thing
Look,
for
we
school.
all family. You look, we all family. You know what they say about black people. I haven't seen Vanessa. Y'all haven't
No,
seen Vanessa.
I
But
just
this
wasn't
is
sure if you talked about this already or not, but I saw an article today that basically said them using Signal in the first place was part of Project 2025. Did you see that? So basically,
Wow.
what they said is all of the work email, all of the government phones they're issued, all of that stuff is monitored. And they didn't want somebody to slip through the cracks, basically, that is not on their regime, catching on to what they're doing, catching on to the conversations, catching on to who's contacting who and what they're doing together. And it's always been part of 2025, Project 2025, to take communications off of government run and sponsored and monitored sites and whatever modality they're using to communicate, and to communicate through commercial apps and products so that it's not being monitored the same way. And I thought that was kind of jaw-dropping.
wow.
Thank you for that. That is jaw dropping.
That's the first time I heard that. Now I got to research because there will be a pod about Project 2025. Philly Sister.
But
Talk to
I
me.
think that's why they're doing that on Fox, though, because they're making it about this dude lurking instead of, they're trying to get away from the fact that they were on an unsecured site, because I don't think they're going to stop doing that.
They keep saying it. When I first started watching, they kept saying over and over again, an encrypted site, basically saying that it's encrypted, because that's what it says. It says encrypted, and it is just like our iPhones. Literally, says encrypted in the end, but we all know they can't be hacked. All you need is my eyes. All you need is the passcode to get in. Philly Sister, you've been. I want to hear you. I want to hear what you got to say.
I have a lot to say, but I have to be careful of what I say because
I understand that. Look, just go.
Yeah. Because I do report to the DUI hire. But what disturbs me about the whole thing is the amount of military lives that were put in danger. As a civilian federal employee, I have grown a bigger appreciation for the military and all of the things that our military members do on a daily basis that regular civilians aren't even aware of. And just the amount of danger that those that are active duty members now were put in, it's really, really disturbing to me. And it infuriated me because, again, I don't think people truly understand the hard work that goes into being a active duty military member. And for these people to just come in and treat it so frivolously is just very, very disturbing to me. So, Bobby, I know you were a military member. Thank you for your service. Anyone else who's on here, thank you for your service. I don't even know what you did. I don't care what you did. I appreciate you. I love you guys because I know I wasn't built for that life. So I try to show my appreciation however I can, and that and these people are not doing that. They're not taking into consideration the time away from families and families being displaced. We actually had uh, a new member to my team added, and with the hiring freeze, he was displaced for almost 3 weeks before he could start his position on my team. And it's very disturbing because this man had a family. He was set to go to settlement to buy a house because he was coming from overseas. It's all just very disturbing, very unsettling, and I don't appreciate the danger that they're putting lives in right now.
Yeah. Thank you. And welcome to the couch. I didn't get a chance to tell you that.
Thank
And
you.
pretty much everybody on here is prior military. We got. I want to go to Easy, and then I want to go to Ruben. Easy, you're first up, and then Ruben.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. I'm sorry. All I missed the first part of the session. I just want to talk about, yes, I'm a government worker. A lot. I heard a lot of y'all talk about the flight plan and all of that stuff. And yes, I totally concur. And as a current government employee, so I got to be careful how I say things. I
Yeah.
just completed my security clearance, and they ask me all these things like, do you have an affinity to certain people? Do you hold any kind of interest in foreign countries? Do you have? I'm just a regular ass person. These are the questions that are basic questions that you have to divulge. You have property? Do you have any of these things? A regular person like me, who, I'm not holding top secret things and nuclear codes and doing all this stuff. So if I have any conflicts of interest, I have to divulge those. And possibly, if I do have those things, I'm not going to get a security clearance. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm a
All right.
regular person.
Yeah. All right. Rue, welcome to the couch again. Easy. Rue,
What's going on, y'all? How everybody
what's
doing?
going on? What's going on? Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Welcome to the couch.
Thank you, sir. I was trying
How
to
do you
get my neighbor had to let me use his Wi-Fi. I kept losing connection, but I've been.
This is a hot ticket, man. This is a hot ticket.
I'm with you, Bobby, man. I'm with you.
All right. All right. So how do you feel about what you observed from the pod? What do you know about the situation in and of itself? What's your feeling? And first off, welcome to the couch.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I heard a little bit ship about the signal stuff. I saw the couple clips, but I didn't really pay it too much attention as far as what the whole dynamics were intertwined, what was going on with the I guess the leaked messages or the confidential messages that was, I guess, released. I didn't really understand what was going on with that, but you know that I was one of them people that voted for Trump, so I'm actually happy here.
So is that how we're gonna leave it? We're just gonna whoa, and I missed everybody's reaction to that. Is that how we're gonna leave it? It's just that we're happy he's here. We're not gonna go into any more details of first off, there's so many things that I want to talk about with that. But but first let's talk about the subject that we have at hand, because that's how I like to handle things. We're gonna talk about the subject that we have at hand. Do you think, number one, it is a big deal of what happened? Do you think anybody should be held accountable for what happened?
Certainly. You know what I'm saying? When any mistake is happening in an organization, their heads will roll sometimes depending on what occurs, and somebody has to answer for those issues. It may not be the number one person. It may be who that issue was, who that was delegated to, but somebody gonna have to answer for the issue if it comes a problem. And
All right, so second question is, do you believe that Trump administration and Fox News and all of them is gaslighting right now by saying that it wasn't classified, that everything was okay, that the biggest problem was having a unauthorized person on the call versus having not on a call, on a chat, versus having the chat on Signal to begin with, when you have multi-billion-dollar networks to have those conversations on? So that's the first question is, do you think it was a problem on being on Signal to begin with? Let's start with that. Do you think that was a problem to begin with?
If somebody was in the mix of a conversation that was confidential and could jeopardize national security, then that's a problem.
So you didn't really answer the question. My question is again, was being on Signal in and of itself, having these conversations that are government conversations, is that in and of itself a problem?
I may not understand what Signal is. You're saying it like it's a platform.
Signal is an app, quite like WhatsApp or your DMs and stuff like that. But it is they consider it more encrypted than your regular iMessage.
No, that's a problem. You shouldn't even be using anything encrypted that isn't already top level security that you got to go through several firewalls to get through.
Yeah.
You should be playing with it like that, especially with the point if you're gonna shut down TikTok and then you're gonna go on TikTok to message government information. You know what I'm saying? That's what are we doing?
My brother, first off, I want to say I appreciate your intellectual honesty with that answer. Okay, I appreciate that. That was intellectually honest right there. Okay, so now we know it was a problem being on to begin with. So we didn't got to go if it need to be classified, this, that, and the other. Now we're gonna go straight to the heart because we done got rid of all the frivolous bullshit. So I've heard intellectual honest answers. So I'm gonna go to strictly. You said you are happy he is in office. Why? Time is yours.
I'm happy Trump is in office because it seems like when any other president or Democrat is in office, we don't seem to have these conversations or be this active in anything. It seems like to me when there's a Democrat in office, Biden, Obama, whoever, it seems like we think everything cool and we don't get active in the community. We don't move with this sense of urgency when another party is in office. It just seems to me like that moves. And I'm for action. I'm for movement. And if this what gets us moving, I'm all for it.
All right. So I'm gonna break that down real quick. And
First of all, you should ask, does
give
anybody agree with that?
Hold on. No, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
I mean, I don't think anybody here agrees with it except
I
for
don't
Ruth.
think I definitely don't agree with it. But I'm gonna just say this. You equating that to Trump is like saying my grandfather, Robert the First, was born in Dothan, Alabama, where lynchings and all kinds of shit happened, right? That's like me living in Dothan, Alabama, saying, I'm gonna vote for the mayor that is cool with lynchings because he got everybody else boycotting the buses. Let me say that again. That's like saying, I am cool and I'm gonna vote for this mayor that have the hood on. He out there with throwing burning crosses out on my goddamn steps. He out there doing that, and because he gonna get all the rest of my people to protest and do what we need to do as a people, get us moving forward. So I'm willing to go 5 steps back because lynchings was on the way out. We weren't there yet, but we was moving toward it. We was moving toward it, and here we are. I'm willing to go back 3 steps to take maybe 4 steps forward if we're lucky. All right, so I'm gonna give you a chance to respond, and then I'm gonna open up for everybody else to talk because I know they all want to. Go ahead, brother. And first off, again, thank you for joining the conversation. Again, this is what I want. I want us to have these different viewpoints in these discussions in a respectful, mannerful way. So go ahead, my brother. Again, Ruben.
From what I understand in history, it was a certain point in time when Malcolm X met with the Ku Klux Klan. Now, I'd rather deal with a man who's going to be honest in my face than smile to me and stab me in the back. I can respect that man more than I can respect the man who stabs me in the back. I have no quarrel with the issue. If it's a problem between me and you, then I'm cool with that. But when you play with me in my face, act like you cool with me and you not, that's the issue for me. That's just how I see it. I'd rather deal with the man who I know doesn't like me than the man who plays like he does. And if it takes dealing with the man who doesn't like us for us to put some action into what we speak on, because if you really want to look at the history of it all, we haven't progressed. What step forward did we make? What points do we have on the board? We have no points on the board. When you beg somebody to give you what is awarded to every human being through God, you haven't earned anything. You just annoyed a person long enough for them to say, I'm going to change something, but I'm not going to change for real. The fact that we're dealing with issues that occurred hundreds of years ago is in itself evidence of the problem. We want to talk about it, but we don't want to do about it. I once asked you, I don't know if you remember, Bobby. I asked you, you could have been joking at the time. I once asked you if you were willing to stop watching NFL and NBA if it meant us being in a better place. And you said, and I'm not giving up my football team. I don't know if you remember that. I don't want to put nothing on you.
No. That's a true statement. That's a true. And I went back and forth not only with you, with my brother Black about it. Like, absolutely, you are absolutely correct about that. You're absolutely correct about that.
Ownership. What do we own? We cannot guarantee. And somebody said it. A great many of those on this video call have served in the military, including my mother Holly. 30 years served. Salute, giant in her own right.
Absolutely.
Greatest to me. Yo, I don't know anyone better. But her 30 years in the service did not provide me safety in this country. That's just the facts of life. When I walk outside, I'm just the same as anybody else. Her 30 years did not get me any safer before she started to when she was after. Now, I was able to see a few different things. I was able to get the education. I was able to learn that. But when I step outside that door, my education, her 30 years, means nothing to them police. It means nothing to that judge. It means nothing to my boss or anybody I work with. It only means something to me. So if we can fight for a country, if we can spend 30 years fighting for a country who still doesn't respect us, I can spend my time in these streets working with the community the same way.
But you still haven't, and I really want to, and I got it. You still haven't answered my question of, which is simply, how can you vote for somebody that wants to take you back? And I'm gonna just leave that there. I'm gonna leave. Go
I
ahead.
apologize. Maybe
No,
I was
because the only reason I'm saying that because I had to get that out. But I want to open it up to everybody. I know Keith want to talk. I know everybody that want to have this conversation with you here.
I don't want any confusion. I want to make it.
So if you can't answer that one question for me here in a minute, and then I'm gonna open up to everybody else. How can you vote for somebody that literally says he want to take you back? Go ahead and answer. I'm gonna give you a minute to answer that. Then I'm gonna open up to everybody else.
If your freedom came with a law behind it, you never had it in the first place. Go ahead.
All right, Keith, you're first up. You're at the top. Let's go.
Oh, I disagree with almost everything he said. I just take issue with him saying that 30 years his mother, military, the things that she provided for him. I just take issue with that. Him having the freedom to do what he just did right now is something that came from his mom. He was able to go to his neighbor and get on his neighbor's Wi-Fi with a freedom that he would never have had his mom not given him what he has right now. Because without that, he would be in the street or incarcerated with drugs right now. So all that with mom, 30 years in the military, didn't give me anything. She gave him freedom that he could never have possibly had, the education he could have never possibly had without her. So all of that goes. You can't ask your mom to solve all of the nation's problem by serving in the military for 30 years. So it's just his basis of things that he's saying is just rooted in just, to me, just arrogance and a want to just be different than everybody else. That's all it's rooted in to me. And
All right,
that's all I want to say about it, because
Ruben,
I don't want to argue
I'm
anymore
gonna
about
give
it.
you a couple of minutes to say that, and then we got to go to the next person because this here we go.
Oh, I'm down with me.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ruben. The floor is yours. You got a couple of minutes to answer that.
Hold on.
Say how you
First
feel.
and foremost, your opinion is your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my mother have had these conversations on numerous occasions. She knows she is the height that I hope to reach at one day in my life, in my career, with my trade and the things that I do. But I know when it comes to my people and those who look like me, and she's done amazing things. She's taken me to Thanksgiving, we would go to the homeless shelter and we would feed the homeless for Thanksgiving. She's taken me and showed me places, different places in the world I would never see. But that doesn't hide me. Spending your life in the military is not the same as coming out here in the regular world with regular people and doing. It's not the same. The camaraderie isn't there. The feelings aren't there. They aren't all under the same honor, duty. That isn't there. You're all on your own out here. So y'all come together is something that everybody else in the United States doesn't see. I learned that when I was so blinded at a time, living in the military, when I got around real family in the city and saw how they were living compared to how I lived and how they viewed the country compared to how I viewed the country, looking at my mama as my hero and knowing that everything she's doing, I'm still black. They'll still call me nigga. They'll still follow me in the store. They've done this on the military base at the Navy Exchange. I've experienced this on military bases. So the problem isn't the president. The problem is us and how we allow other people to disrespect us and how we think everything is a game and a joke. We can't talk out our problems. When your child is at school getting bullied, and I'm in with this, when your child is at school getting bullied and going through issues, you don't tell them to talk about it when the people keep putting their hands on you.
I got one.
My mic.
All right. So how can you vote for somebody to disrespect you? You just went on a tangent about we're disrespected. So how can you vote for a man that literally, and I know you watched last week's episode, literally disrespects you?
That's respect to me because he can openly disrespect me. That's respect as opposed to acting like you like me, but disrespecting me behind my back. I'm gonna look at you in your face and know you don't like me, and I can deal with that. I'd rather deal with you not liking me to my face than trying to pat me on the back and smile in my face and tell me that if I don't vote for you, I ain't black. Come on, man. We're talking about two old white people, white men that don't know nothing about our life, that ain't gonna change nothing about our day to day.
We didn't have a white man. We had a black woman
solved
versus
our
a white
own
man.
problem.
We had a black woman versus a white man. But before we go, go ahead. I want to let Philly sister talk because she raised her hands and she got something pertinent to say. Go ahead.
I have a question to you, brother, that voted for Trump. You said you weren't, he's inspiring change, but didn't Barack Obama do that for you? Once Barack Obama got elected, I saw brothers wearing suits every day because they were so inspired by him and his accomplishment. His slogan was pretty much like change. We have hope to change, or whatever it was, but it was there. Like that is a form of inspiration. His accomplishment is a form of inspiration. So that didn't inspire you to do more in your community above what you do already. I saw a whole host of people out there doing things when he was elected. So that's my question to you.
I don't believe my words were inspired change. but I understand what you were asking me. When Barack Obama ran for president, I knew it was a problem. That's when I said, I got to step back and see what the heck is going on.
And who did you vote for?
I didn't vote at all. I sat back and watched what was going on because it was looking funny to me. It was looking real funny to me. I'm like, hold on now. This ain't looking right. I got to see what's going on. So I didn't get involved during that time. I just played the backfield to see what everybody was going to do and how it was going to play out because I was cautious of the whole scenario.
Oh, hold on. So you're a black man that's pro-black that didn't vote for the first truly viable black man that could win the presidency.
I'm not playing the color game. I'm not playing the color.
But it's not about color to a perspective. It's not about color, or to a point rather. But his resume is extensive compared to the two people I believe he ran against. It was extensive. So it's about merit at that point.
I don't care as much for the president as I care about who the chief of police is in my county or in my city than it is the state attorney. These are people I can reach out and touch. These are people who I can really communicate with. Those are the people who really matter.
I agree with you on that. I don't
want to interrupt you, sister, because
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I agree with you on that because Chrissy Houlihan is actually out of my district in Pennsylvania, and best believe when I get back to Pennsylvania, I'm going to her office and say, "Hey, why were you one of the 7 people that voted against Al Green to silence him during that talk or whatever it was that the president gave? Why would you do that?" Because he was out there protecting my rights. I'm going to her office in Westchester, Pennsylvania.
All right. We have a new member to the council. I just want to
hear much respect.
And first
Can
off,
I just ask one question, Chip?
Absolutely. As Ruben's mother, absolutely. You always want to have it full. Whenever you can pull that card whenever you need.
I'm not gonna belabor it because, like he said, we have these conversations, Ruben and I. And what do I tell you, Ruben? I can't talk politics with you. I'm hanging up now. I can't talk to him. I can't. We'll start it off and we'll be going fine, and then he'll come off the deep end. But here's my thing: is
but I run the conversation.
Say again. He says he's all about the people of color, advancement, but he voted for Trump, who blatantly has no care in the world about anybody of color. That's just obvious. And then it just boggles my brain, and maybe Ruben, you can now answer this publicly as to why you was just at a Black Panther meeting 2 weeks ago. Literally, and I'm not, this is literally, he was at a Black Panthers meeting about 2 weeks ago, but you support a man that got rid of anything that advanced Black people. Any and everything, he's getting rid of that. Explain that to the people.
Only people who can advance Black people is Black people. That's right.
See, that's why I can't.
But you wouldn't vote for the Black people. You don't vote for the Black people. We only had 2 Black people that actually had that was 1 and 2 that actually had a chance to win, to actually had a chance to actually become president, and you decided not to vote for either one.
Right.
What are we talking here? What the where's my horn at? Where's my horn?
Right, blow it, please. Please.
Where's my horn? What the fuck is we doing here? What are we
This
doing?
is what I deal with. This is what I deal with all the time. It makes no sense.
All right. I know there's a lot of people that want to talk.
Can I ask you something, Bobby, just real quick? I don't know. I don't know how to politely say this, but it seems like this is where we get every time in the podcast. We have topics to talk about, but it always gets back to why did Ruben do what Ruben did? Why does Ruben do what he does? He's not going to change. There's nothing we could possibly say to him that makes him change. So what happens is we don't ever get into solutions of things that we can maybe change or what we could do. Solutions that the rest of us on here might want to come up with a solution. We're not going to change him, so we waste hours trying to see why he did it, if he's going to ever do it. Even his mom just said he just went to Black Panther. I mean, it's not going to make sense. How can we come to solutions of things other than try to
come on, bro?
make Rue do something?
Come back.
You gotta go back.
Come on, bro.
So the reason why I think this is a good conversation to have
I guess
is
come
because
on, bro.
you may not catch you may not
fuck
get
out.
Ruben, you are not on mute.
Yeah, muted my brother. We may not get Ruben, but it may give us some type of insight to understand to how we got to where we got to. Donald, I'm gonna give you the floor. And we lost Ruben. I know he'll be back. Donald, go ahead and talk for a minute.
Well, good evening. A couple of you I know. Holly, I know you. I know air traffic control in the house. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I need to say. Air traffic control in the house. Sitting up here listening, and yeah, we can go back and forth as why who voted for who, this, that, and the other. But the bottom line is they're for themselves. They're for themselves. They're for themselves. And for those of you on here that are veterans, let me just put this out. And it's funny that when you get on YouTube now, the veterans that aren't our color are going to these town hall meetings, and they are having a fit. The dude in North Carolina just cussed out the representative with a broke off. And so probably a couple weeks ago, when all this uproar about the veterans was coming up and all that stuff, and the secretary of the VA got on there, no, it's not. We're taking care of our vets. And come find out yesterday by talking to a counselor that I go see, that right after he got off that call, off that recording, he fired everybody that was there. This is the stuff that's going on. So those that voted, I'm just sitting back now, and I just got my popcorn, and I'm just watching, because it's all going down the drain. And and a lot of folk are upset with the Democrats because they're saying, well, y'all not doing anything. But what I'm finding out is that they're just sitting back and let them destroy themselves. When you look at the news and you're on a thing called Signal, and you just send out war plans on what you're going to do. Really? But that's making America great. I mean, so those that, people of color that wanted to vote for Trump. Okay, you about to you going FAFO. You going FAFO. I'm a preacher. I can't say it, but you know what I'm talking about. FAFO. So the thing is FAFO. You going FAFO. And so the thing is that it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I look at what Jasmine Crockett's putting up with now. She said Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
She said Hot Wheels. But nobody ain't complaining when Trump, when he was on the tour, when he was on the campaign tour the first time, talked about the child that was disabled. Yeah, exactly.
That is my last section of the day.
Did you know it's amazing that they say and they do stuff, but then if the other side do it, then you call it out.
Yes, completely hypocritical.
So it is what it is. Just look, my brothers and sisters, all you that I see on here, just sit back and get your popcorn, because they destroying themselves. You're in a vehicle with no brakes that's going down here. What you gonna do? You can't stop it, So let them destroy themselves. They're making fool out of themselves. I sit back and watch. When Trump won, you know what I said? I'm gonna look at all the nighttime hosts. I'm gonna look at Saturday Night Live, the cold opening, because it's gonna have all kind of jokes. And they got all kind of jokes already. I'm just waiting to see what they're gonna do this Saturday night about them. But that's all I got. But it's a mess. It's a hot mess. And I'm just going to sit back and just watch them destroy themselves because that's what they're doing.
Yeah. I just want to say there's so many people that's trying to join the chat. I only can have so many on here, so the room is full right now. Once somebody drop off, I will let somebody else go in. So if anybody is done talking, feel free to drop off to let somebody else in. But I want to go because Ruben is back. I want Ruben to be here because I think, like I said, and I agree with you, Keith, that especially last weekend, I had last pod, I had a lot of things I wanted to say that never got a chance to get out because we got to racism and we stayed there. But this again, I need to know for myself. I need to know for our community, and I think you need to know for yourself. Like, how do we get here? How do a black man, a pro black man, never vote for a black person in an election? So Black, I'm gonna give it to you and let you say, let you go. And Ruben is back on here, so you can interact as you see fit.
A couple of things before, since we kind of brought up last week. Everybody that was on last week, that was my son that was talking. For those that don't know, so I want to personally apologize for his rudeness, his arrogance, and the way that he talked to you. I was appalled. I have been dealing with that for years, and y'all got a chance to see what I go through all the time. And Shipman and I, we've been on each other for years, and we talk. And I have told him and shared with him my frustration, trying to talk to him and get him to see just what's going on around you. And at times I just give up because it's whatever I say, there is a reason. And I'm a person I'm gonna talk facts. Don't come to me with opinions, or you come to me with YouTube videos or TikTok videos, and that's what you want to argue with me about. No, I'm gonna go to the source and pull up the source and let's talk about that. So I just want to give everybody an apology. I apologize for the way he talked to y'all. It's not how I raised him. And just give you a little bit more background. His mom raised him. I was away in the military. She took him away from me, blah, blah, blah. So I got a chance. I was in his life throughout his life, never was not there, but she and I have a bunch of issues. So she kept him away from me, blah, 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 told him a bunch of crap that wasn't true. So there is some issues with me and his mom, but that's neither here or there. As he got older, I started introducing him to life, real life. And I'm pro-black for a lot of y'all who don't know. I know a lot of people be like, no, ain't no way that's black, son. So to hear him talk and the fact that he don't think racism exists that blows my mind, because I can share stories with him. I can tell him stuff that I've been through, people that I know went through, and he still will rationalize his way out of it. So I apologize. Ruben, I have a question for you. Voting for Trump to get us riled up or to make us move and do things, that's akin to if we lived back in the Wild Wild West. We can go to the OK Corral and we take 10 steps, turn around and shoot each other and it's over. That's one thing. But to elect a president to get us riled up, who changing rules and laws and taking away laws that have protected us and allowed us to get this far, or to make progress, because we still got a long way to go. And yes, you are right, and I agree with you 100%. Nobody will advance us but us. But certainly, living in America, the progress that we have made is because somebody came along and put laws in place to allow us or to allow us to be looked at as human beings. So when you have a person in office that is erasing or getting rid of all those protections that have allowed us to advance this far, because people don't think racism exists, how is that helping us?
Black, you said, and we know each other. We know each other.
Absolutely. We go way back.
We go way back. You said that there was laws put in place for us to be treated as human beings. What other people on the planet have that?
Okay, now just say we don't have it, because there was a time that we didn't have it. So erase that and let's go back to when we didn't have it. What would life look like?
It would look like whatever work that we put in, it would show then.
We tried that.
Whatever work we've done, if that were to change tomorrow, with all the work we've done up to today, what would that look like? Because then we would have to stand on our own 2 feet. Like I said, Black, there's no other people on this planet that have a law on the books for them to be treated as human beings. But us.
So your answer to that is to vote for the person who is going to erase those laws and make it harder. So therefore we can come together as a people and advance our own self in a society who's hell-bent on keeping us down.
You just said the society is hell-bent on keeping us down. That's whether it's a Democrat or Republican in office. The society.
But one party is
no. Black, you didn't say Republicans, Black. You said the society.
No, I said one person or one party or one person is hell-bent on taking us back in a society that's hell-bent on keeping us down.
So you disagree that the society as a whole,
because the majority of our society, because the majority of our society, which is drastically changing, I want to. I'm
gonna mute my mic.
Go. Easy go. Easy go.
Listen, it's blowing my mind the contradictions of what you're saying, Ruben, and what Black is saying is like, so we have protections that allow us to be treated as equal, but the person that you voted for is removing those, and you're saying once those are removed, we'll be able to rise as a people, as Black people, to do things, but we don't have no power because you said we don't have no power. So
in this society, we don't have no power. Which is easy. You said easy, right? I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah,
your name Easy?
It's easy. Easy.
Thank you. Yeah, you just what do you want if we haven't built it up with our own hands? If we don't have control of it with our own hands, we don't have it. So if somebody can change a law and change what we believe our reality is, we never had it. So to this day, we're arguing over something we still don't have if somebody can take it from us. Easy. That's what I'm saying. At what point will we control our own destiny? Will we?
Well, that's the question to you. That's the question to you. How do we do that? How do we do that if we can't ever get a job or we can't ever get in the positions to enact those laws and those rules? How do we do that, Ruben?
Need a job for Easy?
Huh?
Easy. You Black, right?
I think
you
so.
Black,
yes.
Easy, right?
Yes.
What we do naturally in life attracts everybody else. Hold on. What we do naturally without any effort attracts all other people and cultures. Does that not award some value?
And how
do you think that if we stop? So I don't want to. I don't want to cut you off, Easy. But I'm just.
No, I want to cut you off. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
I just want to ask you this question because we communicating this back and forth. It ain't just a one-way conversation. But do you think that if we stop playing in the NBA or the NFL anymore until we got ourselves together, that we stop watching? Do you think that we would stop watching if it wasn't an NBA or NFL, but it was the same players?
So we took our talents to the big three. You think that would
I
fix
didn't
it?
say the big three. That's something different.
I mean, it's the
That
same
ain't that's
thing. It's run
Ice
by a
Cube
black
doing this
man.
thing. This is a team.
Yeah, he doing, yeah. But
It's a
it's run by a black
effort.
man. We got they all black players.
They
And
are, well,
do you
who
think,
owns the team?
do you
We've been here hundreds of years. Who owns the team? I ain't talking about a piece of it. Who owns it? What is the health care like for our players? What do
Bobby,
they do
can I
once
answer?
they stop playing?
Can I
Yeah, go
answer,
ahead. Please
Ruben?
do.
Ruben, I
Yes,
don't know
sir.
if you
I'm
remember
gonna
me,
mute
but
my mic, so I want
Bobby
to
needs some
interrupt. I'm
fact
gonna mute
checkers
my
in
mic.
here, man.
Ruben,
Needs some
we
fact
go
checkers.
back to Alcodonis and Puerto Rico. So I don't know if you remember me, who I am, but yes, I'm with you. I have softened my stance on the NFL, and I said the same thing you say. If we stop playing, this shit is fucking cut off, right? I'm with you on that. But I'm saying what back to Blackman's point, you voted for the person who is taking away our ability to get in positions to make these moves. So he's saying we gotta, we all been in the military, and your mom, I love to shout it out. The first black female master chief in the motherfucking air traffic control, master chief in the motherfucking Navy. If motherfucking Trump had his way, Trump would be like, he's a DEI hire. And you know, and
Say
I
it
know
again.
everybody on
But
this
black
damn thing knows that she is fucking fully qualified way more than white people. So that's the problem. We have to have things in place by the white people to let us show what the fuck we can do, because we always overqualified. We always overqualified because we don't have the privilege. But again, I'm with you. We had this conversation way back when Trump, a long time ago during COVID, when we was on this chat
That was
before.
the last time. It was when Trump was
Yeah,
last time.
we talked.
Trump brought us together.
He brings us together every time. But again, he's
Yeah.
gonna tear us apart if we don't fucking stick together, and you fucking ain't vote for that motherfucker.
Wait.
I'm done. I'm done, Ruben. I'm done.
All right, we got a new guest in here, new player to the couch. Dawn, can check your mic. Can I hear you, Dawn? Come on,
Yes,
Dawn.
hey, cuz.
You in? All right, there you go. How you doing? Oh, there you go, letting it out. That's my cousin. That's my family. Capers for life. Anyway, Dawn, you had to jump on. You on the couch? Welcome to the couch.
Thank you.
Go. What's your thoughts?
Oh my,
Where you at?
Rue. Oh my goodness. That is funny. But when I'm just listening because I'm new to this. This is for every week.
Yes, every week, every Thursday at 6 or 7 Eastern. 7 Eastern.
All right, I'll be here. But to think that he took away everything that will help, I'm pro-black of everything. Pro-black men, women, we making moves. And right now, like the other lady said earlier, or the guy, I don't know who said it, was like, get your popcorn, sit back. When you see the white guys and the veteran, everybody with the fatigue hats up there screaming at they people, and I'm like, black people sitting around learning how to do the line dances, boots on the ground, because we already battled. My parents and everyone battled for years for it to be equal right. We already been here. So the whole thing is we know how to move in a certain way. We can know how to provide, make sure our kids are right, put food on the table. We come together, we take care of our community and take care of our family. You didn't see nobody out there protesting that people of color of us. Now they went around, like the guy said, the pastor, they fucked around and found out. So at the end of the day, it's good to communicate like this to get it off, because a lot of people don't like to talk politics with me because I tell them the truth. They don't want to hear it. I go to work, I'll be like, I ain't talking about that. So this is a good platform, Bobby. Congratulations. I'll be here every week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, anybody else
But we need some
like to
fact
talk?
checkers, man. You can't just let Rue just say things without any fact checking. Like for
Who
instance, he
Well,
just said we're
so
the only
you know
people
what?
who have a law.
man, what
The
Like
floor
Fact
is
he
checker,
comes in
yours.
there
what,
and says
Keith?
why you
we're
against
the only
this
Okay,
we're the
law?
only people that have a law that protects them. Like he just comes and just says it like it's a fact. That tells me he doesn't travel.
First,
Because
if
I go
you
to
have,
Australia
yeah,
and I see all the
that's
Aboriginals.
true.
I know the Aboriginal Act.
hold on.
He probably never seen one Aboriginal. I just talked to one like last week almost. So he's talking about things he doesn't even know. He just says them as facts. Like what other people on the planet have to have it? Lots of them. Go to China,
Aboriginal, what are
go to
you
Korea, go to these places, and you will see other people that
Keith,
have to have something on the books to say you're a person.
Keith, if you have something, how can I take it from you? If you have something that is
We had
yours.
it all. We had it absolutely all. The Africans
No,
had the whole thing.
if something was taken from you, it was given to you. You didn't have it.
No,
You
you
thought you
talking
had
about
it.
African Americans.
No,
I'm talking about Africans.
This issue is because you thought you had something that you really didn't have. That's what we're talking about. You
You're
thought
talking
you
about African
had
Americans.
something
I'm
that
talking
you
about
really
Africans.
didn't have.
We already had it.
How you already had it,
Can I break
and
this
it's
down?
getting taken from you.
That's how things get done.
No, you got to come fight me for mine.
That's what happens, and it gets taken from you.
I'm gonna
Your
mute my
life
mic,
could get
Bobby. I hear
taken.
you talking.
Your job could get taken. Things could
Yeah.
get taken from you. You're right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to break it down to another rudimentary level. Let's go with you single, and I don't know. This is just hypothetical. You're single, you dating, you're going through life, and you trying to make it. You trying to have something. We just go with exactly what you just said. You trying to have something, and going through your travels, you meet a young lady that says to you, "I get it. You trying to have something." When we get together, if you vote for me, if you be with me, I'm gonna take all your shit away. I'm gonna try my best to take all your shit away. And you say to yourself, that's the one. Make it make sense for me, please.
Because he riled us all up, and we all got together. He said that's what happens.
If I could just say something before he responds, it's never going to make sense to you.
You have
It's
to repeat
never going to make sense to you. I'm just telling you. I've had this conversation with Ruben 100 plus, probably thousands of times. And
okay. So did anybody else get my analogy? I want to make sure that I wasn't off base or anything.
He's going to have a rebuttal, and some of the things he say will make sense. But it's like, how in the world are you pro-black? Is black, everything black. Issa Rae, I'm rooting for everybody black. In support or vote for Trump, that'll never make sense to you. It won't. It just won't. And he can't make it make sense to us.
He can't.
Yeah, because he knows he's racist. He's not even denying. Like at least last week, Ethan was saying like racism don't exist, and you know what I mean. He knows he lives on Mars. Ethan lives on Mars. Let's just be honest, okay? I love my nephew. He lives on Mars. Okay, so it is what it is, and then we can all say, well, he's on Mars, but you on planet Earth. You on planet Earth, but you decided you want to go to the goddamn core with Samuel L. Jackson and the rest of the crew that was down there for that movie, The Core. That's what you want to do. You want to go down to the fucking core. You want to go down with the people that was trying to see the Titanic 2 years ago that imploded. That's where you trying to go.
Yeah.
But you on Earth. You are on Earth. I'm just saying.
It's not gonna make sense.
It's not gonna. It's. Anyway, look, the couch is open now. Okay, I put my pen and pad down. The couch is open. Y'all go.
That's what I mean. You need a fact checker. Because you can't just say I'm pro-black. He says like that's a fact. That's the false thing, the most inaccurate thing he said in the whole podcast.
How
He's
can
not
you
pro-black,
say that,
but he
I
keeps
think
saying
you're
it just like Trump keeps saying it. Trump will
disillusioned.
say it over and over and over to make you think you believe it. I've never believed it from him. Not once that he said it. He is not pro-black at all. It's not a fact. That's why you need some fact checkers here. I'm that fact checker. He is not pro-black.
I have a question. Ruben, if you got a microphone, So you had a meeting with the Black Panthers. What was their vote? Were there's consensus on voting? Did they say yes, let's vote for Trump, or were they promoting who is their candidate and why?
That wasn't a part of the conversation.
Okay.
I got it. Then I got
What do you think
What was on their agenda
would be though? I'm just asking you.
It wasn't a part of the conversation. I can only assume that everyone had their own different opinions. I don't think that everyone voted the same if they voted at all.
Okay.
For my understanding, and I've done a lot of research back on the Black Panther because I was considering probably 20 years ago. They aren't party affiliated. They don't believe in the government basically as a whole. They don't support our governmental system. So to ask them who they vote for, they don't support it. But again, Ruben, for you to vote for Trump in the hopes of that it will make shit so bad that we
bring us together.
That we're gonna bring us together, and we are going to somehow rise to the top, to the promised land with this society or this system that we've been living under. I don't understand that, and I don't get it. I do understand why you feel the way that you feel, but living on this earth for 52 years in America, I don't think it's gonna work.
You don't think it's gonna work for us to take care of us?
We've been taking care
yeah. So yes, to say that we don't take care of us, we've been taking care of us for centuries. But
who do you work for right now?
We live in a system of laws. Let's face it. We live by a system of laws.
Was it not a law that we could be killed at any point in time?
Absolutely, there was a law.
Laws mean nothing only to the people who follow them.
Okay, let your black ass go out there and speed, and tell me a law don't mean nothing.
Don't mean nothing.
It means nothing to the people who follow them and those who enforce those. A law without an enforcer means nothing.
Get in your car and go 100 miles an hour in a 35 speed limit and tell me laws don't matter because you don't believe in them.
Why would I?
Ruben, I got a simple question. I got a simple question. Do you think, because you live in Vi Beach?
No, right? I don't. I live in Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, okay. The Hampton Roads area,
yes.
Right? And do you think right now today you have more rights as a black man than you had in 1955? It's a yes or no question. Not, do you think you have more rights today in 2025 than you had in 1955? In Portsmouth, fucking Virginia.
You got to think about that.
He wasn't born back then to understand what was going
on.
Let him answer the question.
Rights. Do you mean the ability to do more things?
No, rights.
Yeah,
he sound like Ethan now.
What?
Yeah. Now, are we parsing the question?
Here come that rationalization.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying, right? I'm like,
He's starting to stutter. He's starting to stutter.
Childish.
Go ahead, give him the floor. I'm sorry, y'all. Give him the floor. I'm sorry, Ruben. Give me your floor.
I'm trying to really understand what you're asking me.
What I mean by rights?
That.
Okay,
You're saying right. Let's go. You mean the ability to go get a car and get a license and not, be able to ride without getting pulled over because I'm black, but I still might get pulled over because I'm black. But
you still might. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what. Because
okay, I'm gonna give you some examples.
Bobby,
you know what?
Bobby,
you know what?
Because it's always that underlying issue. We have never addressed the underlying issue.
Whoa,
who's we?
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah. Who is we?
We are. What you just tried to do right there was move. Hold on. What you just tried to do right there was move the goalpost. So I'm gonna bring you back.
You're asking me about the rights. I just told you. If you mean being able to do more things,
gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some. Right now, you have the right to sit next to a white kid in school. If you was in school right now. Right now, you have the right to go to the voting booth, and as long as you show your ID, which I got other issues about the ID and all that stuff there, you have the right to go and vote. They don't have to tell you how many jelly beans it is, how many jelly beans in the store to make sure that you have the right to vote. There are no poll taxes. Right now, you have the right to marry a white woman. Whether you want to marry a white woman or not, you have the right to do that. Right now, you have those.
Why is that
right there?
Why is that a right? That's a choice. Why is that? That's not a right. That's a choice.
There we go. There we go. We
to,
parse
to,
this
to
shit,
marry
man. So in
to marry
1955, hold
a
on,
white
hold on.
woman
Let me
is a
That's the
choice.
point, Ruben.
That isn't a right.
That's not the point. That's not my point. Is this? You have the right as a United States. You have more rights as United States citizens right now, being a black man, than you did in 1955.
What protects
now
you?
you can sit here. Now,
what protects you?
The same law that protects everybody.
No. Law does not protect you. There has to be something or someone to enforce
But guess
the
what?
law.
But guess what? If law protected nobody, then the people that you say, then white people would never created them.
Ruben, go right the back.
White people would have never created.
Why do they have them for themselves if they ain't worth shit?
Go right the back,
If there was nothing, there was nothing, no reason to have laws.
Do you think
laws
white
don't
people
mean
created laws?
No.
Are you telling me that white people created laws?
We're talking about America.
Who created them?
We're talking about American law.
Who created them in America? Who created
Stay
them
in
in Hampton
America.
Roads?
So, all right, I want to be clear. You're telling me that white people created the laws.
You know what? I'm not going to allow you because I almost let you. Nice try. You almost got me on who created laws.
No,
let's
I'm
go
with
back
you.
to
Stop me before I can respond. I'm
We're
with
talking
you.
about America.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
agree
Is if
what-
we
did you have
agree
your
on that
rights?
point,
That your
then why are we talking about
that you
something,
have
a
more
law that we didn't create?
But you have more. So you agree that you have more rights in 2025 than you did in 1955? That what you're saying we agree on? Is that what we agree on?
If you want to say I got more choices that I can make, sure.
You know what? Floor is
That's a
everybody
win.
else.
That's a win, Bobby. That's a win.
Maybe
Leave
say
it
white
alone, Bobby.
people
That's a
rights.
win.
Maybe this will help.
That's why.
Do we have more white
That's
people
why I
rights?
stepped away from the mic. I stepped away from the mic.
When are you going to control your own lights, water, and housing? When are you going to build a house that's based off your own creativity, not based off some Roman structure 100 years ago? When
What
are you
is you
going to
talking
start
about?
writing a book about your own spiritual beliefs that didn't come from somebody else 100 years ago? Why are we still talking about things that we haven't built with our own hands? We're talking about we
Dude,
don't
what are you
control the
talking about?
government.
Who
We
is
don't
this we
control
you
none
talking
of this
about?
stuff. We can barely control our household.
Who is this we you talking about?
Ruben, you are on you are on a level of a no law
contradiction
country where there is no laws.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
He's on some Ku Klux when he thinks that black people can't do anything. He's on some Ku Klux.
What are you talking about? Black people can't do anything.
You just said who's done people. I know people right now built their own house, dug their own wells.
What design did they use?
Make their own
What
community.
design did they use?
What the hell are you talking about?
What is the matter with you, man?
Design did they use?
What is the matter with Ruben? What's the matter with you, man?
What design did they use?
I'm not saying you're disrespectful, but
You know what? The question is, what did Rude do?
You say
what house you live in?
I'm
what car
pliable.
you drive?
You're unpliable. I'm pliable. I'm not raising my voice. I'm just asking questions.
Smoking.
Everything that he thinks a black person's supposed to just be born and know what to do with nobody helping them, and then that's really doing
What
it
are you
yourself.
talking about?
No person
We're
in
trying
the
to
world does that.
communicate our issues in a language that isn't ours in the first place. What are we talking about? We're wearing clothes that we didn't create. What are we talking about?
What are you
We're
talking
wearing
about?
names. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. We're wearing names that didn't come from our ancestors. What are we talking about? We don't even know the name of God. We keep calling God God like God doesn't have a name. What are we talking about? What have we done for? What have we done for our ancestors today?
What have you
we
done?
do for our people today? We didn't follow nothing Martin Luther King told us. And y'all older than me. What are we talking about?
Because
what did we do today that followed anything they told us to do?
We're not talking about.
Hold
we're not
on.
talking about 30
I'm
years, 40 years back. When you say ancestors, we're talking about Africans. When you say ancestors, you all limited to America. When you say ancestors to me, I'm talking about Africa.
I want to say this. I want to say this,
Bobby. Can I ask
and
this one question
hold on.
and I'll mute my
Yes,
mic, sir? I
absolutely. Go
promise
ahead.
I will.
Go ahead.
I'm
No,
gonna
go ahead.
mute my mic. I
No.
promise I will.
Yo, I love it. Let's go. Go ahead and say what you got to say, my brother.
You're talking about ancestry, Keith. You're talking about Africa, Keith. What do you know about your people here, Keith? What do you know about your family's names before here, Keith? What can you tell me about our history before touching this land, Keith?
I can tell you what a geneticist and Black ancestry has gone back to tell me. So, what's good enough for you? Is that good enough for you?
Who did the answer? Who did you got to show me the people who did the test. I got to see the people who did the test.
So the Black people that did it in Black ancestry, that's not
Are
good
these
enough.
the same people that incarcerated people off false DNA? Is these the same DNA people?
Black ancestry. Do you even know
I'm not
what Black
changing the subject. I'm not going there.
Do you know what Black ancestry is?
Black is a color. Keith, do you know that black is a color, Keith?
Do you
know that black is not a people, Keith?
Asked me, what
do
I
you know that
about
we
my
didn't
ancestry?
identify ourselves as black before America, Keith? Keith, do you know that we did not? Can I ask you this one question?
Have you ever heard of Igbo? I know exactly where I come from.
It isn't
exactly who I am,
Igbo, it's
and exactly
Igbo.
where they started, and exactly where my people are.
First of all, it isn't Igbo, it's Igbo.
I'm talking about centuries of kings. You're talking about some dude back 30 years ago. I'm talking about people back centuries ago.
How you gonna jump centuries and you can't walk a year back
on my ancestry?
Hey, how you gonna know your ancestry and you don't know your family here first? Which one of your family members was the one that got on the boat? Can you answer me that, Keith?
Yes, I can.
Which one?
We don't know.
To see? You like to
yes,
see
sir,
it
Keith.
in my
yes, sir.
You like to see it?
What was the? I just want you to tell me their name, Keith. That's it. What was the name of your ancestor that stepped foot off that boat on this land, sir? That's all I want to know.
I know that name. I don't know what that name
is. I can't hear you, Keith. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. I promise.
Because that name has got changed from when it came from Africa to here. I can only tell you the name of the people who took that person.
So okay, so you don't know the person. Okay, that's
because
respect.
we wasn't documented back then.
Respect.
Because I know
but everybody else can walk their history back. Do you realize you're trying to leave a gap in your history?
If you got stolen, how am I gonna know my name?
You cannot.
You got stolen. How you gonna know your name? We was
can't
cattle.
make up your history. You can't make it up because you want it to be that way. You still gotta walk back. So you telling me we the only people?
Sir?
So you're telling me, Keith, you're telling me that we're the only people who have to, who have 100.
You're just talking. You're not even listening to yourself. Are you not even listening to yourself?
You're leaving a gap in your entire history, Keith.
What are you talking
You're
about?
jumping to Africa.
I don't have a gap. You just want a name. So for you, a name, that's all I need, a name.
You don't know.
Person can't be a person without a name.
Who's the oldest person you can name, and what year were they born?
Can't be a person without a name.
Who was the oldest person that you can name, Keith?
Hold on.
Keith, I'm just who is the oldest person you can name, Keith? That's all I'm asking. Who is the oldest person you can name in the year?
Let me say this. And because I'm trying to bring us back to the original thing right here, which is Ruben. I'm gonna agree with you. 99% of the African Americans that came over here off a boat, ancestors, we don't know what their names was, where tribe they came from, within a 50-mile radius of where they came from.
What they believed in was God they prayed to. What they believed in was God they prayed to.
But I have a couple fundamental questions to ask you about.
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna mute my mic for a second, sir.
No, okay, no. But this is a very important one that I want you to answer, which is, would you say that the reason why we don't have that, we don't know who we are, where we come from, all those things came from the Caucasian race? It's pretty much yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. Now we're gonna so I'm gonna go from 1612 to 2024,
1619.
which is 16. Say it again. I'm sorry.
1619.
1619. I'm sorry. From 1619 to today.
Bobby, Chip,
And
I'm just walking across the street. I'm leaving my, so it's gonna get dark, but I'm here.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I appreciate you being on, because I think, again, these are conversations we need to have, because we all don't get a chance to see this and get these feelings. So now I'm gonna just fast forward into now, where you have someone who you agree with is racist, who you agree with want to take us back, who you agree with that if he was in 1619 would say, fuck them ninjas. 1000% would say, fuck them ninjas. But here you are saying, I'm going to vote for the person who I know for a fact, because I know my history. You know what? I don't even know all my history, because I can't go back to where I was, because somebody like him erased my history. But this is the man I think will bring my people forward. That is Samuel Jackson in Django. I'm sorry, my brother. And like I said, I love you dearly. I love everybody on this pod. I love anybody that's listening dearly. But you are a walking contradiction. That's what you are. You are a walking contradiction. Easy go.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying, and we were. It seems like we were on two different levels of the discussion. Ruben was on a whole different level of. Ruben was talking about our African ancestry and our history of how we became where we are, and then we are talking about how we're going to move forward and what our obstacles are.
Right.
And I and keep what so it was like, what are we even talking about right now? I feel like we're just going in circles, and keep was saying it like, what are we even saying here? But Ruben, I get you, but yeah, we don't understand. But the winners of the wars make the laws, right? And then I keep asking you, how do we get forward? The winners of the wars write the history, they write whatever, and they change, and they try to give us their religion and all these things. But what are we going to do to move forward when you're promoting the person who's telling you I'm taking you back? That's what everybody is so confused about and confounded, that we don't understand how you can be so pro-black and saying it's about us rising forward, but the person who could possibly give us some a little leverage or whatever, and we fight tooth and nail for every little bit of power we can get in this world, and we are everyone follows us, like you said. Anything we do, they try to steal. Our culture is so fucking fantastic that they love it. They love it. They love our music. They love our dance. They love our style. They love our swag.
We're a drug.
Say again.
We're a drug to the rest of the world.
We are. But how do we capitalize on that? I want you to tell me, because you're a fucking intelligent young man. How do we capitalize on what we have, that power that we have? How do we capitalize on that to move us forward?
Before you go, Ruben, I just want to say we got another 10 minutes because we pushing time now. So we got another 10 minutes to go ahead and talk, and then we're gonna clean our palate. Go ahead, Ruben.
One thing that is one example of power is access. Allowing people around you in your presence involved in your activities. That is a form of power. So if somebody isn't respecting you and somebody isn't treating you in the manner that you should be treated, not allowing them access to you is also a form of power. So, and with not allowing them access to you, you have to take the responsibility of your own life. Every other people on this planet do not look for another people to make sure that they're able to provide their people water, food, clothing, and shelter.
Not true.
They Mexicans build their own house. You know, Chinese build
That's
their
not
own
true.
house.
You're saying it
Hondurans
like it's
build
fact,
their
not true.
own house. I promise you, if you
Right.
go to Honduras today, their houses don't look like houses in America. If you go to China today, their houses don't look like houses in America. Our greatest
So
power, and I'm gonna stop. Our
What is he
greatest
talking about?
power is
But
our
listen,
creativity.
Why don't you just go to
Rude.
move to Honduras then?
hold on.
But
I just want to say,
listen,
the
black
first thing
people
you said,
built the
hold
White
on.
House. Black people built
They did that.
America free
Who
of being
designed the
slaves.
Who designed the
Think people
building?
make
So
Did they
people
get
believe it.
paid? They didn't get paid
I
to
don't think you,
build it.
I
Oh,
don't.
who put the plumbing
They
in?
didn't get paid to
Who
build it.
designed the plumbing?
Hold on.
What the
Y'all
hell?
taking the forest from the trees. The first thing he talked about was access. We need to have access. That's the first thing you said. Is that the first thing you
Yeah.
said? Ruben, I want to make sure I'm
Allowing
putting the words in
someone
your mouth. Right?
access to you is a
Access.
form of
Access.
power.
Allowing someone access. And what you just said there was a powerful
Yep.
statement. Do you know why I say that? The reason why I'm saying it is simple. They are trying to get rid of DEI, which is what? Access.
I knew you
Yes,
was going
sir.
to That's
I ain't got
exactly
nothing
what
to
I
say.
was going to say,
I ain't
sis.
got nothing so hold on. Did you just say yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Did you just say yes? Okay. All right. So you just said yes, sir. So you voted for the person to give us less access.
You can't
Lou,
see
are
your
you
face,
there?
Ru. I can't see your face.
Yeah, we're all
You at,
waiting.
Ru?
We're all waiting
I
for
can't
you,
see
Ru.
your face. There we go.
If somebody does not have a job for you, are you going to go hungry?
Hold on. See,
We're
do you
on
go again?
DI.
Do you go
We're on
again?
DI. You want access. You want
Trying to run around.
If a man don't work, he ought not eat.
I'm gonna bring
said,
it back.
If a man don't work,
You
he
just
ought
said
not eat.
access. Are we not on the same page?
You voted for someone. You just said access is extremely important. That's what we need to have. You voted
allowing
for
people
someone.
access, sir. Yes.
Hold on. You are voting for someone who want to take our access, what little we do have, away, because tell me if I'm speaking out of turn for you, because we don't have enough access. Am I wrong?
No, that's definitely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if America pulled the rug from under us tomorrow, denied us all access, could we survive?
Hell yeah.
You should never
Hold on.
never
Question don't
allow
make any sense. That question don't make any sense, because what you saying is this. You're saying what access we do have, you're saying right now, let's pull the rug from the access. Is that what you're saying? We need to pull the access. We need to pull the access rug where we have no access? Because that's the question you asked, which is, if we had no access, how will we survive? When the person you're voting for is trying to take that access away.
That may be what he wants.
So is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? You want the access to be taken away? Is that what you want?
I don't care about the access. That's what I care. I don't care about the access.
Whoa.
But you
I
just
do
said
not care
access.
about the access, because
You
the access means nothing if we don't have our own access. What do we have
So now you
of our
qualifying the
own? Why do we care whether somebody gives? How long are we going to beg these people? God, please, how long? Bobby, Ship, please, how long are we going to beg another people for anything? Is there ever going to be a point where we say, we got it? Is there ever going to be a point where you say, well, you know what? We got it. Don't
Can
even
I
worry
say
about it.
something, please?
So hold on.
I just want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I'm
I just want to say this and let Holly talk. I'm gonna say this and let Holly talk. We had it in Tulsa. What happened? Holly, your turn.
Okay. The only thing I want to say is that you're 100% contradicting yourself. You're talking about the access to different things. So if we trying to get, let's use football, if we trying to get all the way down to the goalpost, and right now we got 60 more yards to go, and we steady moving towards that, let's take away and put them all the way back to the end zone. That's what you're saying, Ruben. But that
No, I'm
defines the
saying
access.
you don't
If
own the
I
field you're
can't
running
get
on. Why do you care about the field you're running on? And the coaches don't treat you right, and they don't pay you right.
Here goes a
And they
secret, Rube.
disrespect you.
You don't
and they
own
kill
this
your
country.
kids.
You don't
and you
own this
keep
country.
begging these
But how
people
do
to
you
treat
get
you like a
ahead?
person.
How do you get ahead?
Rube thinks we own this country.
Yeah,
in
Rube,
the little small things that
What are
they've
you?
done.
What are you afraid of?
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all.
Can you answer me that, please?
We're
What?
not afraid of
Answer
anything.
anybody, please.
Nobody's
Anybody,
afraid.
please.
You don't own this country.
Can anybody answer this question? And
You
I'm
don't
gonna
own
mute
this
my
country.
mic. What are you afraid of?
What
You
are
don't
you
own this
afraid
country.
of? You still live here.
You don't own this country.
You have not done
Nothing.
anything to move anything forward, have you?
You don't own this
What
country.
have you done to
don't own
move
this country.
anything forward in this country? Name one thing that you have done to move anything forward in this country that you have already complained about?
Anthony, I'm gonna take it back in your neighborhood. Let's start there.
In your
Let's
neighborhood.
go. Let's go.
When I step out my front door, I get respect up from everybody.
Oh my God.
Yes,
When I
sis.
step out in my neighborhood, all the kids come up to me and speak. I've done many things. I've housed people in my own home when they was down. And I'm not talking about people I just know. I've done community houses in Norfolk. Me and two other people. We opened a community house and housed different people and held lectures and held events for the community. Like it was mentioned earlier. I worked with the Black Panthers for a long time. I just never joined because I'm about action. I'm about work. Don't talk me to death if you ain't doing nothing.
Let me ask you a
Don't
question.
talk me about physics and you don't know trigonometry and geometry.
You got to be able to say it. You got to be able to say it.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I dare you know that Rube
I'm not
owned
trying to
it.
worry about the president. Like I said, Trump brought us together. If it wasn't for Trump, we wouldn't be talking on this video call right now. And that's facts because this wasn't going on during the Biden.
Yeah, I shut it down for a couple years. I did. You absolutely right. Go ahead, Black and Easy. Go ahead.
Ruben, you mentioned about housing and owning your own housing and who designed it and all of that.
Yeah.
You own a house, right? Who designed it? Who designed it?
I don't know. It was probably a Caucasian somewhere in the early 1900s.
But you still own it, right?
No, I don't own it.
Well, you are progressing towards owning it, correct?
I will never own it.
That ain't what I asked you. I said you are progressing towards owning it, correct?
I will never own it.
I didn't ask you if you would
may be
ever
renting,
own
right?
it. I said you
even if I pay, let me be clear. Even if I pay off the mortgage and it's all down to zero, I will never own it.
So why you buying it then if you'll never own it?
Well, I always wanted to buy my first house. I wanted to do it, and it's something like mark it off your checklist, like something I can do. I marked it off my checklist.
That's also called laws of the land. They just part of being laws of the land.
Laws of the land, but you also recognize that once you pay off that money, you still gonna have them taxes every year to pay on that house that you say you own.
I
and
understand.
You also know if you don't pay that little bit of money after you pay those few hundreds of thousands, they'll come take that house you say you own.
Ruben, I understand how the law of the land works.
And being in the military, you know that not other countries don't carry it that way. Once you pay for it and you outright pay for it and it's paid off, it's yours. They're not paying other taxes at the end of the year.
No, sir.
No,
sir.
Yes,
you
sir.
need to travel, son.
Yes, sir.
You need to travel, son.
I got a wide community of people. My homie just came back from Ghana. Who was it? My other homie just came back from, where was he at? Damn, he was in Egypt.
Tell me where you own it at. Tell me. You say you own it in Ghana? You own the house in Ghana. You tell me that?
No.
I just said
homie. I just said my homie goes back and forth to Ghana all the time, sir.
So you own the house. You buy it in Ghana, you own it. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, when you buy the house and it's paid off, that ain't no yearly tax on that house.
It might not be no tax, but you think you own it.
Yeah, it's yours.
No, you don't.
It's yours. Ain't no yearly tax. You're not paying no more money once you pay for
Ruben,
the house.
Ruben, you didn't answer my question because I'm pretty sure you know where I was going, because your mother gave a great example of the football field. We live in a world of rules. I don't care where you live and what country you live in and all of that. There is progression to get to where we are able to own a football team. So we got to start on the field and get a touchdown first. And after we get that touchdown, maybe we can get 3 or 4 more touchdowns, and then 4 or 5 people can get 4 or 5 touchdowns. And hopefully we can get to the point where we can own a team, those 4 or 5 people. So everything is about progression. We literally have a dude.
Because we got our access. So now we can bring somebody else along to get him some access.
30 minutes ago, you talked about the architect of the house and you don't know this and all that. But you literally have a house that I'm pretty sure you financed through a white person's bank. So you are using the system and the laws that we live in to make small progression towards where your Black power thoughts can excel to get you or propel you to where you want to be eventually. We have a guy in office that is rolling back some of these small little progressions that we have made and making it more difficult for us to have that access, because you said access is power. And I agree. That is rolling back that access to make it more difficult for us to have. Now, in this room right now, you have people that have been world travelers. We don't have to hear from our homies and listen to what they say. You can ask a lot of people in here who they know because they have been to these places and they know how it works. Very few places that you own outright and it is yours and the government cannot take it. Very few places. Now, America, you can't own your house and taxes. You ain't got to pay taxes on it in some places. So
you're not just using European countries, correct? You're using other countries as examples.
Absolutely
Make sure we're using other cultures as examples, not just France, Germany, England.
We are well world travelers. I know.
Trust me, I know.
Trust me, the shit that you talking about, I understand a lot of it. Trust me, I know. I know all about the Moorish rules and giving up your citizenships and all of that to do certain stuff. I get that.
That's foolishness.
Okay, but a lot of stuff what you're saying is along those lines.
No.
About the government and doing for yourself and don't depend on the government and laws this and you shouldn't depend on that. That's foolishness because we live in a society of rules.
How long do we have to ask somebody else to take care of us?
We don't.
Why do I have to play on that football field instead of having my own football field? How about if I never play on that field?
Okay,
how about I say Black? How about I say
this is about taking care of us. This is about playing by the same rules.
Can I ask you this, Black?
Instead of owning a football field, let's own your house first.
Instead of the football field and the house, let's get in touch with the land we standing on. Because if you can't protect something, it don't matter what you're building. You got to be able to protect it first. And that's what we're talking about. This whole conversation, and I'm gonna stop. This whole conversation, we have not done nothing to protect these laws that we said that is a problem. And now they snatching them. Now what we
so
they snatching them. Now what?
Who is they? Who is they? Who is they?
So you mean by protection? You mean guns?
You mean like Trump?
You mean
non-violence, non-violence.
I'm with Black though. Who is they?
Yeah, who is they?
The government. That's what we talk about.
Trump?
No.
The government. Trump ain't by himself. Why we got to pick on one man? Like he ain't got a team of people.
No.
You act like this man ain't got a team of people, like he ain't got Congress.
That he surrounded himself with. He
Surrounded.
surrounded himself with that team of people. He chose those
He
team of
still
people.
got to go through other departments.
No, he
Oh
don't.
God.
No,
I'm
he
done.
don't.
He got to
Okay,
go through the
we
Supreme
got to
Court.
start wrap this up.
He ain't got to go through Congress.
We go
I'm
over.
done.
We
I'm
go
How
done.
many
over, and we can
Black? How many
do
branches
more
of the
next.
government, Black?
Oh, God.
How many branches of the
more.
government, Black?
We're gonna start to shut it down because we got to clean our pilot. We have to clean our pilot after this episode. Once again, like every episode.
Hold on, Chef. And
go ahead.
before January 21st, it was 3. After that, it was 4. So it's 4 branches right now.
Go ahead and tell us number 4.
All right.
Number 4 is called Dodge.
Exactly.
Doge. Number 4. All right, so let's start to shut this down. I want to give everybody their last minute apiece. We're gonna go right, left or right. So we're gonna go Keith, EZ, Black. I don't know if y'all see how I see it, but Keith, we're gonna start with you. What's your final point before we clean our pilot? I'm gonna give you 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Because you got a bunch of people
next time and talk some solutions, because we're not going to be able to move one person away from what he's talking about. I've traveled the entire world, got only one continent to go, and I see people. I know expats almost on every continent right now. So he's saying all these things. I'm hopeful he's meaning that I got from all this, that he's meaning that we need to create our own, as in society in general, and not just America, because we can do that. It's happening right now in Africa. Because if he wants to try to do this here, he's going to have to take this place with force. Is he wanting to take this place with force? Maybe that's what he's trying to say. What I say,
and we can make another episode.
So
talk about
do it without force.
That'd be something else. What he's talking about. But at the end of the day, we don't own this country. So since we don't own it, we got to follow the laws of the people that do own this country. In every country that we go to, we have to do that, no matter where we're at. So that's just how it's going to be. But I like this setup, though. I just hope we don't devolve next week into just trying to convince Rue that he's wrong.
Yeah, you're right. But man, this it's so interesting. All right, go ahead, Easy.
Yeah, and Rue ain't necessarily wrong. Again, that's his opinion. But again, it's the same thing we had with Ethan last week. But one thing that Ruben said that Ethan didn't say, Ruben said he's pliable. Pliable means I'm willing to learn. And I did not see that. I did not see that from you to take on some of the things that we were saying to you. And you pivoted a lot. But again, I say the same thing I said to Ethan last week. Part of being an adult is learning, being open to new ideas. And I get what you're saying, sir.
You gotta move.
I'm with you.
I'm
with you on the ground. You ground roots. You there making changes and at your level and where you can see it. But what they're doing right now in the government is taking away all of our funds, education funds, and SNAP. All those things, they're taking those away, and that's the person you voted for to do that. So, Ruben, love you, baby boy. Love you, and I hope you be back. All right, that's me.
All right, Black, 1 minute.
A lot of things, Ruben, you are saying I agree with. It's hard for us to gain freedom without force. Nobody has gained freedom without force. Nobody. Nobody will give you freedom. You have to take it. So I always say operate in the system you're in to get where you want to go. So if I got to operate in the system that we currently live in America, then that's the system I'm going to operate in, and there are laws. Without laws, I would be afraid of what it would be like. So these are the laws that is given to us, and I want to be treated just like the law says I should be treated. When somebody is in taking those or making it harder for me, that's when I have a problem. So we can talk until the cows come home about what is best for us, but the system that we live in right now, we are playing on a football field, and the goal is to score a touchdown. After I score one touchdown, then I figure out what's next. Am I going to score another one or try to own some seats in the stands or own the stadium and then own the team, and then I can make a little bit more noise. So that is progression, and we are progressing, and we are better off than we was in 1955, 1900, 1850, and 1800. That's progression. Rest
All
my
right,
case.
Donald.
In the movie Tuskegee Airmen, there was a line that Andre Brower said when he was talking to Congress. He said, "You give us a fixed deck and expect us to win. We have been given a fixed deck, and now the deck has been taken away from us." Let me say that again. The fixed deck that we had, the fixed deck. I know I got some sailors on here. We know what Joker, Deuce, Ace, King, Queen is. That's a hand. You don't even have the 2 of clubs. You don't have the 3 of diamonds no more. You don't have the 6 of hearts that you were trying to make a book with. You have no deck. So, Ruben, we have no deck, brother. We have no deck. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, all right. Dawn. Dawn, would you
Yeah.
like a last word?
Yes, I would like to. Um, yes, I'm from Philly. Go Eagles.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. But the thing, Rue, it's not about you. I try to do a lot of people and tell them they gotta learn for themselves. So the history, the lesson I want to know. My dad was in World War II, and the movie with the ladies that Tyler Perry did. And she said they thought they had tails. My dad told me that whole story. That the white soldiers said they got tails at night that grow. So the whole thing with, okay, I'm voting for someone that is very, very racist, always with privilege, and rolling back everything, not for only black people, it's women's, it's the kids, for the educational system, it's the veterans, the disabled people, because I'm always for veterans. My dad was a vet. My brother passed away just on Christmas Day, was a vet. And I rode with that. I had my flag and everything ready. So the whole thing is, when we can acknowledge wrong is wrong and don't make excuses of, oh, that's not right. I can't excuse that for that person to being hatred and racist. So that's all I'm gonna say. Look at what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right for all kinds of people, not just black. Cause we're gonna show up when we have to. We did it
Yeah.
for hundreds and hundreds and years. So peace. It was good to listen on and see y'all. Next week I'm gonna have my face.
All
All
right.
right.
Appreciate it. I want to say before I let Holly and Rue, you two are next. And I just want to say, Ruben, you said something that bothered me. And the reason why it bothered me is because of your mother. And I'm a I'm gonna just say it. So you said, what are we doing? We are not living Martin Luther King's dream. And what I'm gonna say is your mother is exactly what Martin Luther King dreamed of.
Mhm.
She was a
Yeah.
pioneer in air traffic
Yeah.
control.
Yes.
She was an E9, and I know you weren't trying to say that to disrespect your mother or anything like that, but when you said it, it bothered me. I'm just being completely honest, and I know you didn't say it with any malfeasance or malintent or anything like that, but I want you to understand that your words mean something because you are a powerful young black man that's growing in this world. And like you said, people look up to you. When you walk out the street, people look up to you. People want to hear what you got to say because they believe in you, because they know that you want better for us. So when you say we aren't living Martin Luther King's dream, and your mother is the epitome of that dream, I need you to think about what you're saying, my brother. That's so I wanted to say that because I wanted to give you a chance to talk about that between, to talk about that, how I felt personally. I can't speak for anybody else on this pod or anybody else that's watching in the community that's watching, but for me, it bothered me because I know what it took for your, and actually I don't know. Let me I misspoke. I don't know what it took for your mother to get to where she got to. I got out long time before E6, this, that, and the other, whatever accolades I may have had, I ain't got nothing to compare to what your mother had went through and to get there, not only as a black person, but as a first black female. And so she is Martin Luther King's dream. And I don't know which one of y'all want to go. I'll let y'all figure that out between y'all two, but I'm gonna let y'all talk, and then Anthony, you'll be last.
I'll go. Thank you, Chip. And I'll be completely honest with you, and I think Black probably knows better than anybody. I appreciate that, and I guess I'm more of a humble person because I don't really take that well when people recognize that, and I think it's more so because I didn't want, even though it was a burden to carry. Let me tell you that first of all, it was an honor and a burden all at the same time because you are the first, but then there's a burden because there's a certain, you got to look out for the brown girls coming behind you, and that's a heavy burden to carry to make sure that you're not doing something that's going to be like, oh, well, the last one we advanced, she did da, 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 da. So but I appreciate that. Eddie, Black, Chip, you guys are always giving me my flowers, and thank you for that. I do. It's hard for me to accept that that's me, and it was by the grace of God. I mean, when the rubber meet the road, I sat in that seat and I did that. I'm a firm believer that God knows exactly where you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to be placed and when that timeline is. And I just fit that timeline for whatever purpose He had for me during that time. But that's neither here nor there. I wanted to say thank you for recognizing that first. And the other thing is, Keith, I kind of disagree with you, even with Ethan and with Ruben. I think even if we don't change their minds, if we can spark something, the next time they go to the polls, you can't tell me Ethan and Ruben ain't gonna think about who they voting for. I refuse to believe that would be the case. Just based on these conversations, I think they may put a little bit more thought into how these people are going to shape their communities. Like Ruben said, I do believe local elections are probably more important than even the presidential election. I do believe that. And I do believe that if we spark just a little something in either of their brains to make them maybe give a little bit more thought to what they're saying and what their vote really means. Ruben, you got the privilege to vote because people came before you. People died for that privilege. And I will support 100%. He wasn't going to go to the polls. I'm like, Ruben, go vote. I didn't want him to vote for Trump, but I wanted him to exercise that right because people died for it. The one thing I will say is it's important to not only, and Eddie hit it, it's not just about you. It's about other people too. You got family members that use Snap. You got family members that use HUD. You have family members that use WIC. You got family members that work for the federal government that jobs are in jeopardy. So it's not just about what he can do or what's going on within your community or right there. It's not affecting me because if that was the case, I don't think it really affecting anybody on this podcast for real. I think we can all still go out and buy 5 dozen of eggs if we want to, but there's some people that can't. So I just think that it's important to still have these different viewpoints because it will. I just believe it will spark something the next time that their voice is they exercising their right and they're going to vote. I do. I thank you, Shipman, for this platform, and it's it's a good thing because we've been in here almost 3 hours, and it don't even feel like 3 hours because it's such thought-provoking conversation. And a lot of us don't get this through the week. We working, we hustling, we busting, and we get to sit down and we really get to think and talk. So thank you for this platform to speak, listen, and learn.
Thank you. Thank you. Ruben, the
I took
floor is
more than a
yours.
minute, my fault.
It's all good. It's all good.
You deserve it.
Easy, I appreciate you mentioning I appreciate you hearing me and actually listening when I said I was pliable. Now, everybody knows I voted for Trump, but also I acknowledge that I don't care about Trump. So if you can say something that makes sense to me, then I'm all for it, because your great-great-grandmother voted for, already been doing it, and that's what you've been doing. I'm for, but when I first voted, I said, "Hey, this is what I want to see," because that's what it brought us together. And as I look at us on this call, agree or not, we at least getting the conversation going, but we together. And like I said before, when this was going on with the Biden conversation, didn't seem necessary. But until we in a better position as a whole, this conversation is always going to be necessary. And the president isn't going to change our condition as a whole. Only us can do that. Black, you said what I think no, I'm sorry. I think that was try to take it by force, or I think about force. Force action. Force is never the first. First, you got to at least know what the finish line is going to look like when the war is over. In times of war, you prepare for peace. If you don't know what the finish line looks like, you don't know how you're going to already, you don't even need to raise your fist to nobody. And right now, we ain't got nothing set up to raise our fist to nobody, because we can't, if everybody says they ain't messing with us, like they say anyway. The world doesn't respect us on the board. That's facts. Whether you done crazy, Oprah got disrespected before, where she got the place shut down. When you wear this color, right now we don't got no respect in the worldwide. That's the issue. So until I ain't tripping on the president, because it's gonna start with us respecting us, and not just disrespect us because they can and slide by. Bobby, you said Martin Luther King. I also believe Martin Luther King said, I fear I've ushered my people into a burning house. When did that house stop burning? Who put the fire out? I haven't seen shows that fire stopped. So we still usher people into a burning house. They wanted us to come together. We are together. This shows right now because it's incident to separate us. And I could, if we came together tomorrow, I'd vote Democrat if that's what brought us together. If that's what brought us together tomorrow, I don't give a damn. Hey, Democrat blue flags, we gonna wave them high. We gonna pick up trucks. I'm all for it. But if it ain't gonna bring us together, then it's what it is. The other brother, what was his name? I don't mention the deck of cards. I'm familiar with the games. I know exactly what you're talking about. I live my life around the people. But if you also know about the deck of cards, you know that it's 4 suits. Those 4 suits represent 4 seasons. You also know about the deck of cards that is 52 cards. Those 52 cards represent 52 weeks in a year. Before we was playing spades, we actually understood what those cards represent. Ma, you said, you hope that you could spark something in me. But this whole conversation, like I said, it seems like y'all been trying to spark me, and it's nothing that I've said, from my opinion, that y'all been receptive to have that spark not just be one way. And I'm gonna close on this, Bobby. I'm gonna close on this. I look at us as that position of a baby bird. If you know anything about baby birds, at one point in time, they've been in that nest their whole life. Their parent kicks them out that nest and they either fall or fly. We refuse to jump out the nest and fall or fly because we're so afraid of falling. But like you said, Bobby, when you mentioned Tulsa, anytime we fall, we fly. They have to come tear down. They got to come shoot us out the sky when we fly. Why do they shoot us out the sky when we fly? Because we competition. Because we showing the world something that they done told the world that we not. And we ain't changed that. So the world still disrespects us. So until we look at ourselves as that baby bird and ready to fall out that nest and fly, regardless of what's on the other side of that sky for us, we're gonna always have these problems. I thank you all for listening to me. I trust me, I heard everything you all had to say, and it's all love.
I'm gonna talk to you about a future pod, and I'm gonna just give you a synopsis of what I want you to think about when I talk about this future pod of just me and you talking, and we'll have some guests in. And I want you to really soul search and think about this. What is utopia to you? How? And we got just food for thought for our conversation later. What does utopia look like for us, and how do we get there? And that's it. So again, we'll talk about that at a different time. But that's one what that'd be my first two questions. What is utopia for us, and how do we get there? Anthony, I'm giving you the last word because you asked for it. Let's go.
Uh, I'd like to say, first of all, to you, Bobby, I appreciate you having this platform for us to speak our mind and say what we uh, would like to say, get off our chest and express the way we feel about the things that are going on. Um, I'm very proud of you, as you already know that. And I just want to let everyone know that this is my nephew. And I have seen him from a little, from when he was born, actually, to now. And he has grown into such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man, taking care of his family, doing everything that's right. And this podcast is just another example of that. And I appreciate you letting me come on and be a part of that and be a part of you. What you know I always crave for, because you are my guy, along with your brother. Can't discount the brother. So I just want to say that I appreciate you, man. Love you.
Thank you.
Rue,
Thank you.
we hear you, man. We hear you. I understand exactly where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. Um, there's some things that we still trying to understand about what's going on between what your thought process and our thought process. But I think we could actually get there if we continue to talk about it. Um, there's some things going on in this country that needs to be understood, that this country is built on a foundation of laws and rules. And if you don't like the laws and rules, then you could do one or two things. You could change them, or you can get out. You can go to Honduras. You can go to Haiti. You can go to Puerto Rico. You can go anywhere else. But if you're going to stand here and you want to complain, then let's see how we can make a change. And that change right now is really, unfortunately, is within the government and what's going on. Not only right now, but that's been going on for years, decades. Our people been fighting this fight. So I hear you, Rue. You have got a lot of good points that I will absorb and take with me. Black, you fam. And you know you fam. You know I love you. You're my nephew. No need to apologize for what your son have said. It's all about fam, man. He said what he said, and guess what? He's a grown man. Let him be. Let him be.
Appreciate it,
To the panel, appreciate you guys being on here, man. It's good to see the panel, see, everyone speak their mind and say what everyone had to say, and we didn't get into a discourse where it become just a jumbled mess. It was good to see that. Holly, you go, girl. You go. You go.
Thanks.
All right, go Holly. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Easy said he wants to start out the palate cleanser. So Easy, the floor is yours.
All right, Ruben. I want you to know that I'm pliable. And way back when we talked, there's years ago on the podcast, your I want to say it was a Sifu. What'd you say you called him? Sifu? See, I remember that. It stuck with my soul the way you guys were speaking. So I took that on and it changed me to think differently. So I want you to know we don't have a closed mind when we're listening to you. That's all I want to say. I heard you. Like Unc just said, I heard you. Okay.
All right. Thank y'all again for joining me. And the palate cleanser this week, because I asked, please, if you know people that's got stuff going on, positive things going on, have them send it my way. All I ask is they be a part of the community so we can all talk about it and celebrate it all together. So since nobody sent me anything, I got to go back home. And back home for me is my son, Bobby the Fourth, dropped the album, and I'm proud as shit of him. And the intro song is near and dear to my heart because he is talking about the lineage of Robert Shipp, not only me but my father, my grandfather, and his son. So we got 5 now. We got cinco. I talked about that on episode 1. So I hope Facebook don't kick us off of this, but we're gonna play it. I've talked to the lawyers and I believe we're good. We're good. Facebook and YouTube. But I want to show y'all his video that he made as his intro song for the album. And I'm gonna put it in the notes so that everybody can please download, like, and subscribe his page because man,
Is it on the streaming
it's
platform?
it is. It's on Apple Music. It's on Apple Music, on Spotify. It's on YouTube Music. It's on everything. And let's play it. Hold on. Let me find the. How did I not have it up? I thought I had it up.
Come on, get it together now.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Hey, you need Candace in the background as your producer.
It's in the bottom right. Yep,
What's
it's
here?
in the bottom right. You got to click it and minimize it. Stuff.
Nope, that's not it. Hold on, y'all.
Take your time. Take your time.
Come on.
Man, I just had it. It was right there. All right. There it is. All right. There it is. That's it.
I can't see without glasses.
You're Christian. Walk your mommy over to the other couch. Gina, go to the other couch. Joaquin, come here, buddy. Come here.
Is Gina about to cry?
I don't know.
Can I?
Make your face.
Joaquin.
Come here, Joaquin. Come here. Yeah, you hurt your hand.
Hey, look, little. Go get.
Bobby and Mahashi, come here.
Go get grandma cat. Bring grandma camera over here.
Buck roll.
Yeah. Shout out to my people building legacies in cities filled with hate.
It's a grind every day, so I'ma tell a story about my family. Look into the mirror like a vanity. This my 10th time, it's insanity. Looking back, thanking all the people that are fans of me. Gotta give them what they pay to see, because depression is a curse, but now it feels like just another day to me. Hold on for a second, can you stay with me? This is just the intro. Wanna give another shout out to my kinfolk. This another story that my pen wrote. All the lyrics that you hear came from the soul. The first man walked the earth with a dream of being great, but he was facing hate out the gate. So he did everything he could so he could pave a way, making room for his legacy to take his place. Insert the second man, born into the struggle with no helping hand. He had to fight and really take a stance. And then the wrecking ball named alcohol took over his life, buying drinks to help him through the night. The third man watched it happen, a young man who was always tapped in. He had some dreams and a couple passions, but then his mama told him wake up and don't be like your father. He joined the Navy, started working harder, and he did everything that he set out to do without a helping hand. If you do it right the first time, you will need a second chance. These are words he told me, helping me become a man. Now I look down at my son, and I know he has a chance, cause I'ma say the same words. Don't wait for that stretch hurts to pull your body, so you can know what life is really worth. Your name is Bobby, and I'll do anything to put you first. Keep your chin up, man, I know it hurts to see your father and your brother and your sister and your mother, and to know that one day they won't be here. Life's too short to be owned by fear. You gotta switch your gear and change the course in which you mean to steer. That's your legacy.
So thank y'all for
That is
and
hot.
again,
That was really I know you are so proud of him.
yeah, he had me in tears.
You
I'm not
got
gonna
me
lie.
almost in tears. I'm like, oh my God. That's I mean, just listening to the words, and then for him to say the things he said about you,
Yeah.
priceless.
And honestly, it all is a true story. It's really a
That
true
is
story.
awesome. That is absolutely
So,
awesome. Yeah.
that was our cleaning our palette for this
Feel
week,
good.
and
Feel good. Yeah.
and again, send them in, and we can talk about them. But I appreciate everybody for being a part of the podcast, whether you're listening, or whether you're on it. Again, the couch is always welcome for everybody, and I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next week, next Thursday.
Bet.
Peace.